evening, everyone. It's game time on YurView. Tonight's high school game of the week comes to you from Peoria. A huge matchup between three-time defending Florida 7A state champions, the St. Thomas Aquinas Raiders, and the top-ranked team in Arizona in the 5A division, the Centennial Coyotes. Hello, everybody. Chris Harris here, along with former Dallas Cowboy, three-time Super Bowl champion Dale Hellestray. And Dale, St. Thomas Aquinas comes here from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. They are ranked number 3 in the country. Centennial, one of the top teams here in Arizona. It's going to be exciting to see all the high-level talent out on the field here tonight.
It's going to be fun, actually, just to see the size of both teams and then the speed of both teams and how they match up. Keep an eye on that tonight.
St. Thomas Aquinas, it is a storied program. Since 1992, they have won 10 state titles. They've also won 2 national championships, one in 2008, another in 2010. Last season, they went 13-2 and finished ranked number 7 in the country.
You see Roger Harriet there, the head coach for St. Thomas Aquinas, done a nice job. His second season, they travel all around the country. This team travels like a college team, and they act like it on the football field.
Now, this Raiders team is absolutely loaded. They've got big-time Division I college talent, but that's pretty much the norm at St. Thomas Aquinas.
They've had a storied program, as you pointed out. You see 23 players have Division I scholarship. A lot of these kids have multiple scholarship offers. It'd be fun to keep an eye on them after seeing them on the field tonight.
Absolutely, and you can't tell the West Side story of football here in Arizona without talking about Centennial. In the last 12 years, they've won 5 state championships and finished runner-up on 4 other occasions.
Yeah, Richard Taylor's just done a fantastic job. The only coach this program has ever known. I continue to point out when we come out here, doesn't look like he's aged a day in the last 10 years. Wins a lot of football games. Looks like he enjoys doing what he does.
Centennial offensively is led by Zentane Thomas. The senior running back, he can run a 4.4 40, but he's also a wrecking ball who can punish defenders.
It's going to be a nice challenge for the Centennial offensive line tonight. Zentane Thomas can run up the middle once he gets out in the open field. He can break tackles, and he's got speed to get to the end zone. You see the numbers there, almost 12 yards every time he carries a football.
All right, when we come back, we'll have the Sanderson Ford keys to tonight's game. St. Thomas Aquinas, number 3 team in the country from Florida, taking on the Centennial Coyotes. You're watching Game Time on YurView.
Refresh yourself with a Polar Pop Cup from Circle K. It stays cold longer, and we offer more choices than ever before. More choices like Powerade, vitamin water, iced tea, and full throttle. Ready for the best part? You can get any size foam Polar Pop cup for only 89 cents every day. More choices than ever before. Talk about refreshing. More choices, most value at Circle K.
I do a lot of online shopping. I read a lot of reviews. Read the reviews on Sanderson Ford. I think you'll be pleasantly pleased. Everybody that's come through there is extremely excited when they walk out of Sanderson Ford, and I think if you go and look at their reviews, it's going to tell you that they're first-class service. They go out of their way above and beyond to make that customer happy, and you couldn't ask for any better company than Sanderson Ford.
Ford, America's best-selling brand. Sanderson Ford, America's best-selling Ford dealership.
If you want better opportunities in your life and your current job is taking you nowhere, you can look through the classified ads for a better job. You can apply for jobs that are out there, or you can call us at AAI and get the career training you need for a career you'll love.
A job is a short-term solution, but real change happens in your life when you're in a career that offers you satisfaction and rewards. Why just work at a job when you can build a strong foundation for a career you can be passionate about?
Check us out at aai.edu or call now.
And welcome back to the Game Time Game of the Week on YurView from Centennial High School, where it is Military Appreciation Night as we get set for the 3rd-ranked team in the country, St. Thomas Aquinas Raiders and the Centennial Coyotes.
And for the
And here are tonight's Sanderson Ford keys to the game. Remember, the best play is at Sanderson Ford. National Spotlight game. Both teams used to play in big games. I think the Raiders from Florida probably used to a little bit bigger stage than Centennial. Fatigue factor. St. Thomas Aquinas played Monday night. Remember, then they fly out here to play a Friday night game. And they managed to watch both teams running the football. Who does it better will go a long way to determining who wins the game.
All right, when we come back, it'll be the kickoff between St. Thomas Aquinas Raiders and the Centennial Coyotes. You're watching Game Time on YurView. Kickoff when we come back.
When the day turns into night, my hash browns turn into my new $3 munchie mashups. Crispy hash browns, tasty white cheese, mashed up with your choice of savory egg and bacon, buffalo chicken and ranch, or jalapenos and bacon. Each for just $3. Why? Because everything gets more interesting at night. Vampires wake up, werewolves come out, and the boogeyman gets his boogie on. So try my delicious $3 munchie mashups and keep the party going until the sun comes up. Ooh, $3 munchie mashups from Jack in the Box.
Are you talkies enough?
Capital of Iceland. Reykjavik. R-E-E-Y. Whoops.
Talkies. Taste the fury of our flavors and face the intensity.
Brandon's played sports since he was about 4 years old. He was playing flag football and tweaked his knee. We ended up taking him to Phoenix Children's. The doctors confirmed that the ACL was torn, and we were given the option to not surgically repair, but then he would have to stop all sports. Brandon was devastated. We ended up going forward with the surgery. When the doctor gave him the thumbs up, he wanted to go back out onto the playing field that night. Phoenix Children's played a huge role in getting him back to sports.
The YurView Game of the Week is sponsored locally by Sanderson Ford. The best play is at Sanderson Ford. By Jack in the Box. Come try the new really big chicken sandwich combo for only $3.99, limited time only. By Arizona Automotive Institute. Turn your dreams into reality with career training from AAI. By Red Devil Italian Restaurant. Family owned since 1960. By Circle K. It's time to take a Circle K Polar Pop timeout. By Valle Luna, proud sponsor of student athletes in Arizona. By Phoenix Children's Sports Medicine, Arizona's only comprehensive sports medicine program for young athletes. And by Talk Ease, face the intensity. And Richard Taylor Centennial Coyotes ready to get things going against Roger Harriet's St. Thomas Aquinas Raiders. Billy McConnell to kick it off for the Raiders, and we are underway. It's going to be a short kick to the sideline, and stepping out of bounds is going to be number 9. As we take a look now at tonight's Jack in the Box starting lineups, come try the new $3.99 really big chicken sandwich combo for only $3.99, limited time only.
We've talked a lot about Zidane Thomas, but keep an eye up front. Carson Keltner, Matthew Coudray, and Trevor Renfro inside of that offensive line for Centennial. Can they open holes for the running game?
So the Coyotes will start from their own 20-yard line. Two receivers split to the left, single setback. Zidane Thomas in motion and taking the ball is Dom Hampton. Tries to break it to the outside and gets absolutely lit up by Raiders defensive back, number 13, making the hit, Asante Samuel.
Samuel obviously comes from good genes, trying to take advantage. You're thinking that the Raiders defense going to be maybe over pursuing, a little over anxious. They didn't fall for it.
Ruben Beltram, the senior quarterback, see his numbers very accurate, completing almost 74% of his passes. He got like 11 touchdown to 1 interception ratio. Bad snap, Beltram just has to fall on it. Recovers it at the 7-yard line. Take a look now at the St. Thomas Aquinas defense. It's only given up 3 points all season long.
Yeah, they're very stout. They're very deep and very strong up front. Keep an eye on number 59, Des Jean. Can line up a lot at nose tackle, listed at 400 pounds.
Listed. So what's that mean? Over 400 pounds. Third down. Zidane Thomas, the stiff arm, bounces to the outside. Another stiff arm still on his feet. Finally gets dragged down, but a big run by Thomas. Picks up the first down for Centennial. 27 yards on the play.
More of what we saw a couple weeks ago. He's just going to bounce it out here. They're just trying to gain a few positive yards, but watch the left arm right there, and then watch it right there. That's the most physical stiff arm I've seen from him. Gets the first down, keeps his drive alive.
Thomas again tries the left side this time. Gain of 4 on the play. And you were very impressed with Thomas against Pinnacle 2 weeks ago when he went for over 300 yards.
Yeah, it's just amazing to watch this kid run, how humble he is. I wanted his offensive lineman to be in the interview with him after the game. He knows how important they are to him, but he's very important to them also.
Also nice for that quarterback, Beltram, to have a running back like Zidane Thomas to tote the rock for the Coyotes. Second down and 6. Inside handoff, Alex Escobar cuts it inside. It's going to be just short of a first down.
Now you talk about this offensive line coming off the football, running off the right side. That's Renfro and Daniel Thomas, both seniors. As we talked about in the open, the Centennial offensive line as big as any in the state of Arizona. And they're playing a defensive front that's as big as any in the country.
It's going to be a big challenge tonight for that Coyotes offensive line. Zidane Thomas tackled for a loss and making the play for the Raiders. Number 21, Jordan Battle, the free safety.
Battle, 181-pound junior, comes up from that safety position. Looks like he's going to be able to bounce out. Nice tackle right there. And this Raider defense kind of scrambling a little bit. Centennial changing the pace of the game a little bit, going a little quicker than I think we've seen them in the past.
So after the Zidane Thomas 27-yard pickup, the Coyotes are now forced to punt from their own 45-yard line. A.J. Jackson to boot it away. And taking it off the bounce is number 1, Tavares Kelly. But coming in to make the special teams tackle, number 24 for the Coyotes, Ray J. Bealey. Here's tonight's Jack in the Box starting lineups. Come try the new $3.99 really big chicken sandwich combo for only $3.99, limited time only.
He'll take a look at that offensive line, see if they can open some holes against this Centennial defensive line. And then Daniel Carter, 23 FBS offers on the table, and it's late September.
And he's not the only guy that's got double-digit FBS offers. So dump out in the flat 2, Kelly eludes the tackler, gets to the sideline. Nice job there by Kelly. Tonight's quarterback for the Raiders, the junior, Kirk Castile, his first year starting, had the 1-yard game-winning quarterback sneak in overtime in the big victory over St. John Bosco earlier in the season, as you see his season numbers. A nice night versus Stranahan last time out. And he's also battling a stretch fracture in the lower back here this evening. Castillo looks left side, coming out of the backfield and breaking a tackle. Daniel Carter, the junior running back.
Just when you think they're going to come out and hammer the football at you, open up with 2 passes. See that Centennial defense. Jacob Franklin having a nice season from his defensive end spot. Christian Gomez going to be very important this evening along with those defensive backs.
And keep your eye on Dom Hampton, the cornerback who is committed to the University of Washington. Handoff, Carter gets bottled up in on the tackle for the Coyotes. Christian Gomez, 43, the senior middle linebacker.
This offensive line going from left to right. Swan, 285. Kiernan, 280. Murphy, 285. Serrano, 300. Merville, 270. The runt of the litter over there at right tackle.
Must be nice when 270 is your smallest guy in the line. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 8. Castile in shotgun, looks right, throws right. Nobody there. Looked like a little miscommunication there.
Oh, a little bit high there. I think the beginning of this game is so important for Centennial. I think you can get hyped up for these national powers coming to your house. You want to put on a good show, but you still want to do what you do. Sometimes you can get a little too amped up and make a mental mistake or a physical mistake that can cost you early in a football game. You get through the first drives, then you settle down and realize it's just a football game.
Defensive coordinator Andrew Taylor hoping his Coyotes defense can get a stop here on 3rd down. Handoff, Kelly tries to bounce it to the outside, but making the open field tackle for Centennial is Jaden Young.
Coming into the game, 45 tackles. He's a 195-pound junior, and what an open field tackle. Going to see him come up from his defensive back position. It definitely looks like Tavares has an opportunity to get to the 1st down marker. Give Jaden Young a lot of credit.
Jaden Young, his older brother Diedrich played at Centennial, now a 4-year starter at Nebraska. Alex McCourt on to punt for the Raiders. A.J. Jackson to receive. Bumps into his own player. Ball on the ground, recovered by the Raiders. What a huge turnover that is. Jamal Brown recovers the fumble for St. Thomas Aquinas.
Just one of those things, you're trying to block for your returner. You're engaged with a defender. You're not exactly sure where that ball is. Have to have a little bit of communication, but sometimes that's just the way it happens. And the Raiders special teams, punt covered unit, bunch of white jerseys around the football.
Well, when we talked to Centennial head coach Richard Taylor before the game here tonight, he said they're going to have to steal a possession here and there, not give them away. So that's a big, costly special teams turnover. Jamal Brown making the play for the Raiders. Let's see if Richard Taylor's defense can respond once again. St. Thomas Aquinas takes over at the Coyotes' 32-yard line. 6.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Castile running off to his right, gets brought down, big play, coming off the line, big number 51, making the hit for the Coyotes, Xavier Garcia.
Watch right here, non-stop effort. Going to get a little bit of pressure, a cross stunt to the right of the screen, and look at him run down the line and deliver a blow. Nice hustle play by Garcia.
No gain on the play. 2nd and 10. Kelly in motion. Castile in shotgun. Setback is Carter. Carter takes the pass from Castile. Nice pickup there for the Raiders, making the tackle for the Coyotes. Number 17, Kieran Clark, the junior.
Some really nice open field tackling by the Coyote defense here in this first quarter, and they've had to make a couple plays that I think sometimes the Raiders
illegal shift. Offense number 74.
Expect to break and get to the end zone.
Previous spot, repeat, 2nd down.
And there's tonight's officials: Jake Gustafson, Simon Gustafson, Justin Wilcox, Brian Hastings, and Todd Whitlinger.
Looks like Jake, they're fighting through an injury, playing with a, repping with a broken wrist.
There's no chance he was going to miss tonight's game. Got Roger Harriet's number 3 team in the country, St. Thomas Aquinas, for Friday Night Football. He's not about to miss this matchup. 2nd down and 15. Kelly in motion. Castile looking left. Finds his receiver across the middle. Making the catch is Elijah Moore. Elijah Moore, the senior, has committed to University of Georgia, a 12-yard gain on the play.
5'11", 175 pounds, just a deep square in route. Plenty of time to throw the football. Ball's a little bit low. Moore goes down, catches the ball, gets his hands underneath to secure the catch.
Another big third down here for the Coyotes defense. Carter takes the handoff, gets tripped up, and he's going to be short of a first down. It looked like Jaden Young was the first guy to get in there and get him down low.
Nice job by that front seven for the Coyote defense. And then Young obviously getting up there from a safety position in a hurry to make the stop.
So that's two big third down stops for the Centennial defense. And it's going to bring up 4th down and 3 for St. Thomas Aquinas. Looks like they're going to go for it. They've got the ball at the 24-yard line. Castile handoff. Carter cuts it back inside, gets stuffed by that Centennial defensive front. Big play there by the Coyotes.
We're going to see some stunting by this Coyote defensive line. End comes down. We see Garcia bounce out again, make sure he turns him back into his buddies. And as I said, I'm sure Centennial's saying all the right things coming into the game. But until you get out on the football field and figure, hey, we can play with these guys. I've already seen a little frustration on some of the St. Thomas Aquinas offensive linemen.
Christian Gomez, one of the big guys making the play there for the Coyotes. Now the Centennial offense takes the field, starting from their own 25-yard line. Handoff up the middle. Escobar bounces it to the outside. He's got room. Tries to pick up a block. Big pickup by Escobar. 26 yards on the play, but we have a flag coming in late. Let's see what the call is.
Sure, it's going to be holding downfield.
Personal foul. Face mask. Number 52, defense. 15 yards out of the end of the run. First down.
Or it's just going to be a face mask and add to it. Take a look. You're going to see right here. Watch Coudray pull and watch the explosion right up that A-gap. You got angles on the right side, come down, pin those defensive linemen in, and open up a hole to run.
Beltram keeps it there, but we have a really late flag coming in. Once again.
I'm not going to guess anymore.
One and done with that, huh?
Face mask. Number 54, defense. 15 yards from the end of the run. Penalty results in a first down.
So that's two face mask penalties in a row.
Yeah, 54, and that's Tyler Steen from the Raider defense, and it's one of those, you know, you're just trying to reach out and grab whatever you can, and you got to face a handful of face masks.
So after the Escobar 26-yard run, they've now picked up 30 yards on two face mask penalties. Coyotes now all the way down to the 19-yard lines. To Dane Thomas, once again, the senior who is committed to Boise State. Nice pickup.
Well, and I think, again, I'm seeing some frustration on this Raider defense. I don't think that they're used to being knocked off the football like this and have the ball run right at them. As you look at Des Jean, the big defensive tackle.
Getting some high fives when he comes off. Talking to Dane Thomas before this game, he said it's just not another game for him. He's more pumped up than usual because he grew up in Florida. He's got family back there. In fact, his younger brother goes to high school, Jefferson High in Tampa, so he wants to show out well here tonight. Escobar takes the pitch, but great pursuit there by the Raiders defense.
That play just did not look good from the beginning. Couldn't get lined up in the backfield. You see Asante Samuel, the senior defensive back, comes up. That's his second physical hit we've seen from him as he bounces Escobar back into those white jerseys.
And Samuel showing everybody why Florida State is happy to have him coming to Tallahassee next year. He's an All-American and All-State performer last season as well. His father is Asante Samuel, the former All-Pro NFL cornerback. Thomas, handoff, left side. And it's Nick Bonito, the defensive end, is the first player to get to Thomas. And he gets some help from the rest of his guys after that.
Well, Coach Taylor told us they're going to address really a sixth offensive lineman, but right here, this is Chris Williams, 6'4", 285 pounds. They gave him number 85, but figure he's going to be another offensive lineman. He just got to continue to stay on that block. Number 15, Nick Bonito, who is himself highly recruited, came off to make the tackle.
So coming out now for the field goal attempt for Centennial, Xavier Rojas. It's going to be a 33-yard attempt, and it is good. So Xavier Rojas gets Centennial on the board first with the 33-yard field goal. With 1:26 remaining here in the first quarter, the Coyotes leading the Raiders by a score of 3-0.
Well, we talked about the importance, really, of this first quarter, and you've seen this offense now be able to move the ball on the ground and with penalties.
We're going to step aside for a quick break. Coyotes leading the Raiders by a count of 3-0. It's a Circle K Polar Pop timeout. Stay tuned for more Game Time on YurView after this Circle K Polar Pop timeout. We'll be right back.
Ford was the only company that we really wanted to go with. Their reputation, the credibility that they have, Sanderson has that. Sanderson Ford does a really good job with their start team. They got with each one of my kids and sat in the car with them, went over every detail of the car. And for them to take the time with each one of my kids and go over every little detail in the car, that's pretty unique.
Ford, America's best-selling brand. Sanderson Ford, America's best-selling Ford dealership.
Refresh yourself with a Polar Pop Cup from Circle K. It stays cold longer, and we offer more choices than ever before. More choices like Powerade, vitamin water, iced tea, and full throttle. Ready for the best part? You can get any size foam Polar Pop Cup for only 89 cents every day. More choices than ever before. Talk about refreshing. More choices, most value. At Circle K.
And welcome back from the Circle K Polar Pop timeout. Game time on YurView. And the Centennial Cheaters have plenty to cheer about here as their Coyotes take a 3-0 lead thanks to the Xavier Rojas 33-yard field goal. And he also had the game-winning field goal a couple weeks ago on the game we had, Dale, against Pinnacle.
He looked very comfortable out there, very, very under control. Didn't let the emotions get to him. Knew it was good from the time it left his foot.
And Rojas now set to kick it off. It's going to be a short kick. Running up to make the play on it is Kelly. Cuts it up the middle. He's got room. Bouncing it to the outside. Still on his feet. Finally being brought down near midfield. A 33-yard return by TK Kelly. Looked like a video game run.
Looked like there was a hole right there. He bounces it out. Good blocking up front. Maybe a couple illegal blocks. And look at the athletic ability, the speed. Great field position to start this second drive of the game for the Raiders.
Kelly, another one of those playmakers for the Raiders. He's committed to play at Virginia next year. He runs 100 meters in 10.55. He ran that region 10.55, was not fast enough to make it to state. They got some speedsters out there in Florida. Castile shotgun, looks down the field, left side. Not able to make the play on it is Cole Catterbone, but how about the play defensively by Kieran Clark?
Yeah, Clark did a really nice job running stride for stride, and you have a receiver go up and try and get the football. Catterbone almost turned into the defensive back because of the coverage by Clark.
Good look at Clark, the junior. A lot of terrific athletes out on the field here tonight. 2nd and 10. Pitch to the left side, cutting it back in for the Raiders. Number 26, Nigel White. As we now take a look at the scoring drive. 33-yard field goal by Xavier Rojas. Rojas perfect on the season. 30 seconds remaining, first quarter, 3rd down and 8 for the Raiders. Castile tries to break it to the outside, gets brought down. First guy to get to him for the Coyotes is Dylan Wampler.
Wampler, what a nice job closing speed. Another one of those juniors. You know, I think you're sitting here, if you're Castile, thinking, hey, I got a blocker out in front of me. I'm going to be able to get past him, but just fantastic effort on Centennial's defense.
And we are through one quarter here at Centennial High School. And it is the Coyotes who lead the number 3 ranked team in the country, the St. Thomas Aquinas Raiders. 3-0 Coyotes. You're watching Game Time on YurView.
Looking for a real good time? Come to Red Devil, where old traditions become new. Whether it's a special occasion or a night out on the town, Red Devil will meet all your dine-in and take-out needs at a price that's hard to beat. Red Devil, starting a new tradition.
What is Valle Luna Mexican Food and Cantinas? We are a true Arizona original, serving carefully prepared, authentic Sonoran-style cuisine since 1983. We are time-honored family recipes using only the freshest ingredients. Good fun, a family place, a gathering place. We are happy faces and happy hours. We are your new favorite neighborhood hangout. Valle Luna Mexican Food and Cantinas.
If you're thinking about coming back to school, you probably go online and check out schools in the area to find out which one best suits your needs.
At AAI, we invite you to visit our website at aai.edu and check out the career training we offer in skilled trades.
You can navigate the website, check out our campus, hear from our graduates, and better understand the commitment we have to our students.
Our website is full of great information that can help you make an informed decision about your future. Check us out at aai.edu or call now.
Welcome back to the Game Time Game of the Week on YurView at Centennial High School. And the Coyote fans are fired up as their team leads the number 3 ranked team in the country, St. Thomas Aquinas from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, by a count of 3-0 as we get ready to start the second quarter.
64 rushing yards for Centennial in the first quarter to 10 for St. Thomas.
And Centennial had 10 offensive plays in that first quarter, all of them runs. Raiders punt it away. And A.J. Jackson's going to let this one just bounce. And the Coyotes are going to be pinned deep in their own territory. They're going to start from their own 4-yard line.
One thing I don't understand, and you see it again on all levels, is the fact that if you're going to let the ball hit the ground and get away from it, ball takes funny bounces. That's why it's shaped the way it's shaped. That ball almost hit him on the second bounce. We've already seen what happened with one turnover on a punt return earlier in the game. Just get away from the football.
Make a decision. Pick it up or just let it go. Coyotes are going to start from their own 4-yard lines. We take a look at the defensive line coach for St. Thomas Aquinas, who was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame 2 months ago, Jason Taylor, the former Miami Dolphin great. Pitch, Thomas cuts it inside. Pickup of about 3 on the play.
Yeah, had fun talking with Jason yesterday. Went out and watched the Raiders practice. You know, why is he involved? First of all, he's got his eldest son is a freshman at St. Thomas, and he said he loves teaching football, and he loves this program. It's a true program, and he's excited about the future. So that's why he is as involved as he is.
It looks like he probably still play a little bit.
Yeah,
what do you think?
I saw him moving around in the end zone in pregame warm-ups. He could probably give you a couple pass rushes.
He can get after it. 2nd and 8. Thomas handoff. And he's going to get stuffed by that Raider defense. Number 21 in on the tackle, Jordan Battle.
Well, when you have two really good teams going against each other, special teams become more and more important. St. Thomas punts the ball down inside the 5-yard line. Now, if defense can hold, you give the offense great field position after Centennial punts. So, big play here on 3rd down.
You got bunch trips to the right, single receiver to the left. Escobar takes the handoff, but he goes absolutely nowhere. That defensive front for the Raiders, led by Rocky Shelton, a 4-year varsity player who's going to be playing his college ball at Duke, in on the tackle.
Wow, this is what makes it so hard right here. Kind of hidden by the official there. Des Jean takes up 2 blockers, can't get up to that 2nd level, and that allows Shelton to run free and make the tackle, and that's what a big road grader up front can do for your entire defense.
There's a big look at Des Jean. We're thinking over 400, right?
I'm thinking over 400, but the kid plays basketball, he moves, he's athletic.
On the return here is Kelly. He's got room. We got a penalty flag on the ground. Kelly continues to stay on his feet before finally being knocked out of bounds. But there is a penalty flag.
I wonder when football is going to adopt the rule that if there's an illegal block on the play, blow the play dead.
So nobody else gets hurt?
I've seen too many players get hurt when all the officials know it's for naught.
Especially when everything's going towards safety these days as well, with all the rules. So we have quite a discussion here with the officials.
Well, there are multiple fouls, and that's what they're talking about right now.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both of them on the receiving team. We have holding, number 43. That penalty is declined. Holding. Receiving team, number 21. That penalty was during the kick, will be enforced from the end of the kick, 10 yards, 1st down.
Let's now get to know the St. Thomas Aquinas Raiders. Founded in 1936. They've got the most active NFL players right now than any other high school. And their home games are played at Brian Piccolo Stadium.
It definitely doesn't look like they're just a football program either, as their athletic teams have won over 100 state titles.
Roger Harriet now at the helm, an alum of St. Thomas Aquinas. He was part of one of the state championship teams for the Raiders. Now in his 3rd season leading his alma mater. Daniel Carter, left side. Nice tackle, stepping up. Alex Escobar for the Coyotes. Pound for pound, the strongest guy on that Centennial team, making a big hit on Carter.
Seen some of these guys go both ways. We've seen Escobar carry the ball. Now you see him come up and make a nice form tackle, and it looks like he was trying to pull up there, and looked like Carter had the back of his jersey.
Escobar last year was the 3rd junior ever named a team captain. The only others were Ben Helgard and Boston Sanders. So Richard Taylor holds Alex Escobar, as do his teammates, in high esteem. And it's going to be another penalty against the Raiders.
You can see some of the frustration on the coaching staff for the Raiders, and you just don't want that to go over to your players.
You got to remember, St. Thomas Aquinas played on Monday night, flew out on Wednesday. This is their second game in 5 days. You gotta wonder how much fatigue might be a part of what's happening here early on, as Castile throws that one away. Because earlier this season, the Raiders went 24 days without a game due to Hurricane Irma. They missed 7 days of school and practice, and many of the players were without electricity because of Hurricane Irma.
Came back after the hurricane. They had to clean up the campus and get back to football.
And that brings us now to 3rd down and 9. Castile looks down the middle of the field, fires, going to be intercepted. Making the play for the Coyotes is Jaden Young. His second interception of the season.
We talked about his tackles, 45 of them coming into the game. Very physical there in the first quarter. Just good coverage. You're going to have a 3-man rush, drop 8 back into coverage, and just play zone. Really nowhere to go with the football. You try to force it in there to Tavares Kelly. Ball thrown a little high, and give Young a lot of credit for getting over there, getting his hands under the ball, and coming up with the interception.
Jaden Young making his older brother Dedrick proud. Former Centennial standout. See the numbers on the season for Young. He's had 2 games this season with 11 tackles each, but it shows he's got a pair of hands on him as well. So the Coyotes offense takes over from the 35. Pistol formation. Handoff to Thomas. Finds a little bit of a hole, still on his feet. Boy, he runs hard. Thomas showing some of that power that he has. The guy can squat 550 pounds. He benches over 400 pounds. Power cleans over 300 pounds.
Yeah, he ran in the whole pack there. Hard to pick out one on the stop.
Going to bring up 2nd down and 6. Four receivers to the left. Pitch to Escobar. Comes to the side. Big hit there by the Raiders. Number 22 in the tackle. Tutu Daranijo.
Yeah, Tutu's come up and laid a couple licks on Centennial running back. Very physical, 195-pound senior. A very, very physical defensive back. You could just tell he kind of lives for contact.
Tutu laying some tattoo hits. 4-year varsity player. He's got offers from Purdue, Pittsburgh, Missouri, and Cincinnati. Bring up 3rd down and 1. Centennial trying to get in the right formation and not able to get into it, so Richard Taylor's going to have to call a timeout. Let's recognize tonight's Valle Lunar Scholar Athletes of the Game. Valle Luna, proud sponsor of student athletes in Arizona. Congratulations to Patrick P.J. Brennan from St. Thomas Aquinas and Jacob Franklin from Centennial. Jacob is a 4.2 GPA, runs the 400 on the track team, belongs to the National Honor Society and the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and volunteers at Oasis Elementary for the Special Olympics and at the Maricopa County Burns Center, where he attends several events per year. PJ has a 5.21 GPA and a 5.0 scale. He is in student council, speech and debate, and 5 honor societies. He volunteers for the Dan Marino Camp for Autistic Children and the Children's Diagnostic and Treatment Center. And more on Jacob making those visits to the Maricopa County Burn Unit to help cheer up children going through a difficult time. A few years back, Jacob himself was one of those kids at the Maricopa County Burn Unit after suffering severe road rash from a car accident. Visiting the kids is Jacob's way of giving back to a group that helped get him through a difficult time. 3rd and 1. Coyotes. And Thomas with some movement in the backfield. It's going to push Centennial back 5 yards.
Snap. False start. Number 2, offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down.
Really a false lean I think the weight shifted maybe from his heels to his toes. Watch number 2 right there in the middle of your screen, and they were trying to hard count St. Thomas. St. Thomas did a nice job staying onside defensively, and now brings up 3rd and almost 6.
First penalty of the night for Centennial. Meanwhile, the Raiders have 5 for 50 yards. And this changes the play call, going from 3rd and 1 to 3rd and 6.
Different part of your playbook.
2 receivers split to the right. Thomas, the tailback. And now Escobar looks like he leaned forward. But first, we're going to have another timeout for Centennial.
Seems like they're struggling a little bit to line up, get in the correct formation, and you're right, you're going to change the play from 3rd and 1 to 3rd and 6.
Well, Centennial takes the timeout. Let's now hear from St. Thomas Aquinas head coach Roger Harriet about the expectations for the Raiders.
Our expectations has a lot to do with them doing the right thing, more importantly off the field, and being role models and productive members of our community within the classroom and obviously at home. On the football field, that's obviously a privilege. They're going to give a championship effort, you know, every single chance we have, whether it's practice or a game, or it was just representing in a community service project.
Being out at practice yesterday, Dale, it was impressive to see how they ran things over there.
It reminds me of a college team. I mean, you fly, you stay in a hotel, but along with that comes responsibility, and that is, every coach we talked to talked about off the field more than they talked about on the field.
3rd and 6 now for Centennial. 7:09 remaining. 2 receivers split to the left. Beltram and pistol. Fakes the handoff to Thomas, rolls right. And he's just going to throw it into the ground. There was nothing there.
Usually you're thinking, you know what, we're going to give him a run-pass option. Beltram can run with the football if need be. But again, you're seeing different types of speed from this Raider defense. No receivers open. Contain was taken away. Smart play, throw the ball away, punt it, let our defense get back out on the field.
And that was the first pass on the night for Centennial. Goes incomplete. A.J. Jackson now on to punt. Terrific average this season, 39.5. Gets a low kick this time. Picking it up is Kelly. Left side, tries to cut it back to the right, but plenty of red jerseys there to stop Kelly at about the 29-yard line.
You get a holding call back here on Centennial. As close as St. Thomas has been to breaking a few of these punts, I'd be surprised if they didn't have him re-kick it.
Well, Kelly's a guy that runs the 10.55 100 meters. So I'm sure the Raiders would love to give him another opportunity.
Holding, number 15 on the kicking team. 10 yards from the previous spot, re-kick.
And it's always so much more difficult to cover the second punt. You wouldn't think it'd be that physically taxing, but this is when a lot of big plays happen. You just ran a 40-yard dash. Now you got to come back. You got to do it again. You got a world-class returner back there, and this is where Centennial has to be very, very careful.
And is this something maybe where Centennial just punts it out of bounds? Does he give Kelly the opportunity?
Well, I think you're talking NFL-type punters, Chris. This is high school football.
So it's now 4th and 16, and Jackson will be at his 15-yard line when he takes the snap. Does a great job of fielding the low snap off the ground. And the Raiders are going to take over their own 46-yard line. Excellent field position for St. Thomas Aquinas, but a great job there by A.J. Jackson just handling that snap and getting it away.
Yeah, nice job. Again, it's just so many things can go wrong when you either have to kick off again, you have to punt again. You just want to stay away from those situations at all costs.
Look at Casteel's numbers on the night. 3 of 7, 23 yards, plus the interception that was made by Jaden Young.
About a 15-yard difference from where St. Thomas would have started with the ball without that penalty.
Had the ball at the 46-yard line, would have been the 31. Castile rolling to the right, looks down the field, lets it fly, has a receiver, falls incomplete. Looking for Tarik Phillips.
Well, I had a bunch of time to throw the football, and with the speed downfield, you'd think somebody would come open. When you have that much time to throw the football, you see this offensive line sticking like glue to the red jerseys, gets hit right at the last second. It's a big task for the defensive backs to stay with these receivers for that long.
2nd and 10 handoff, and getting brought down for a tackle for a loss. Jacob Franklin making the play for the Coyotes.
Here's a kid who missed last year with a torn tendon in his finger. You're going to watch him right over here. He's working against Merville, 6'7", 270-pound junior. Look at that physicality. Here's a kid who NAU hasn't even taken a look at. He's 6'4", 215 pounds. In 2-3 years, you're telling me he can't be 235, 240 pounds and help a school like Northern Arizona University?
Columbia's already offered him. They like what they see, as we now have a false start against STA.
Number 72, offense. 5 yards previous spot. Still 3rd down.
Well, that's what you don't want to have. You have a younger offensive lineman there. You don't want to let, even though that last play wasn't your fault, you're going to take it as your fault. You can't let one bad play become a second bad play to become a third bad play.
And Marcus Dumerville, the junior, he's got offers from Ohio State, Florida, Pittsburgh, and his uncle is Elvis Dumerville, the longtime NFL player. As we now take a look at Arizona versus out-of-state teams this season, they haven't fared very well this year, Dale.
Well, you know, again, they haven't, but you look at some of the competition, and I'm all for it. I mean, I think if you're Richard Taylor, like he said, you know, win or lose, he said, we're going to come out of this game a better football team. I've always talked to these coaches and said, at the end of the day, play that tougher competition, middle, early season. If you lose an out-of-state game, guess what? You have the choice to put the the record on your state championship ring if you want to. As you see the miscues here early that Centennial has overcome. And you see the interception here.
Jaden Young making the pick there. And it's now going to bring up 3rd and 18. The Coyotes with a little over twice the yardage than the Raiders. Castile has a wide open receiver, and Phillips, ball's loose, goes out of bounds. So the ball will be marked where the fumble went out of bounds. So it'll be a 1st down for STA.
A little zone blitz by Centennial. Castile has time to find the receiver down the sideline. One of the few times a fumble actually helps your football team.
It's a good look at Phillips there. It was Christian Gomez knocking the ball free, but the Raiders still get the 1st down. Castile finds his receiver, Cole Catterbone. He's committed to play at West Point for Army next season.
6 foot, 185 pound senior. Another flag on the play.
Illegal formation, offense, 5 men in the backfield. 5 yard penalty, still 1st down.
Well, those are things that just drive you crazy as a coaching staff, because usually the receiver is looking to the sidelines and the official nods his head or says, yes, you are where you need to be.
7 penalties already on the night for 60 yards against the Raiders. 5:10 remaining first half. 1st and 15 from the 45-yard line. Castile finds Elijah Moore looking for room to run, but a great job to stand his ground is Jaden Young to make the tackle.
You know what, you break down in the open field and the hustle of those red jerseys, and you see Dom Hampton come up late. But right here, a lot of room. You break down, make the runner go sideways, get those red jerseys over there. Tremendous job by the Centennial defense.
We talk about STA's defense only giving up 3 points all season. You got to remember, Centennial's defense had shutouts in the first 3 games this season. 2nd down and 13. Castile can't find anybody open, but he gets brought down. Big play up front defensively, number 51 for the Coyotes, making the play.
Looks like Garcia again. Second time he's been back there. I'm not sure what Castile felt here, because there's going to be a pocket here. He runs right into the 2 defensive tackles. There's no pressure yet. There's no pressure yet. Nothing. And then he just runs right into his own guy.
Now 3rd and 12. Trips to the left. Single receiver to the right. Across the middle. The catch is made by Elijah Moore, but he's going to be short of a first down. Will bring up 4th down and short.
I think you talk about this coaching staff, the experience they have, both playing and coaching. I think you sit there and say, this is 4-down territory for us. We don't have to pick it all up on that 3rd down play. We're going to go for it on 4th down, which looks like that's what they're going to do.
STA has only picked up 2 first downs here tonight, trying to get their 3rd one here on 4th and 3. Castile looks left, across the middle, has his receiver, Elijah Moore, with the catch and the first down.
Really nice job by Moore hanging on to the football as Jaden Young comes up again. I'm telling you this Centennial defense, every time somebody catches the ball or carries the ball, they are trying to punish them physically. You complete the pass for the first down, but watch this hit right there in the lower suplex. Really nice job.
What are we calling that?
I don't know. I think I have one of those.
You just make something up?
I think so.
Dr. Hellestrand. Jaden Young's had a nice first half here for the Coyotes.
So as this clock winds under 3 minutes here in the 2nd quarter, St. Thomas still looking for their first points.
It's a good look right there. Christian Gomez, he's got interest from ASU, NAU, and Phoenix College. 2nd and 7, 2:30 remaining, first half. Castile lose the pressure, lets it go to the end zone. Overthrows the intended receiver, Elijah Moore. As Castile has a little discussion with the official, Centennial defensive coordinator Andrew Taylor, hoping his defense can stay strong here late in the first half.
This is just a tremendous job. I want you to watch the pressure coming over here. We pointed him out a couple times, but Jacob Franklin, and this time we got number 32, Connor Knutson, just pressuring Castile.
Timeout. Raiders.
Well, it's time to take a Circle K Polar Pop timeout with 2:21 remaining here in the first half. Centennial leading St. Thomas Aquinas by a count of 3-0. Stay tuned for more Game Time on YurView.
Refresh yourself with a Polar Pop Cup from Circle K. It stays cold longer, and we offer more choices than ever before. More choices like Powerade, vitamin water, iced tea, and full throttle. Ready for the best part? You can get any size foam Polar Pop Cup for only 89 cents every day. More choices than ever before. Talk about refreshing. More choices, most value. At Circle K.
Are you talkies enough?
Capital of Iceland. Reykjavik. R-E-E-Y. Whoops.
Talkies. Taste the fury of our flavors and face the intensity.
Welcome back to the Game Time Game of the Week on YurView at Centennial High School, where the Coyotes lead the number 3 ranked team in the country, St. Thomas Aquinas from Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
A lot of credit to these Coyote fans. They're out here early, and there's a bunch of them.
The parking lot was pretty full when we got here. Hour and a half before kick. Here's the 10th play of the drive, 3rd and 7. Castile has his receiver and picking up the first down, but there's a flag on the play.
That was Derek Wingo, 6'1", 190-pound sophomore, making the catch with his hands and picking up the first down. They discuss the penalty.
Pass interference, offense, number 3, blocking downfield. 15 yards from the previous spot. Still, 3rd down.
Another costly penalty for Roger Harriet's Raiders.
Now let's see if we can pick it up on the replay. Ball has to come out really quick. You hang on a little bit too long, and that's a very good call. That ball's out a split second sooner. You're not going to see that flag thrown. That's a proverbial pick play, but they turned it into a block play.
And it happened right in front of the official, no less. Very easy to call that. 3rd and 22 now from the 39-yard line. Castile looking right. Now he's scrambling, and he's just going to throw this one away. Not sure the ball got past the line of scrimmage or a receiver being in the area either. But another great defensive stop for Centennial. It's going to bring up 4th down and 22.
I want you to watch over here. This is little number 40. He's a sophomore. Watch this pass rush move. Taking up 2 guys and putting pressure on Castile. Tremendous effort on his part.
Derek Jodarski. So the Coyotes will take over from their own 11-yard line.
I'm fascinated to see how Coach Taylor runs this last a minute 55.
Well, they've only thrown the ball once in the first half.
Would you like to, you've got momentum on your side. You're up 3-0. The last thing you want to do is try and get too aggressive. Give this St. Thomas team the ball in good field position with time left on the clock.
I think you try to take your team into the locker room with a 3-0 lead at this point. .155 remaining. Handoff to Thomas. Picks up a couple on the carry.
Well, you can just see the confidence in this Centennial offensive line and their running backs and their defensive line. You know, again, you can sit there and talk all you want all week about, hey, we can match up with these guys. We're big enough and strong enough and all that stuff. But then you see them on film and you're in the back of your mind, there's always going to be a smidge of doubt. And now you realize, hey, we're just as good as these guys.
And they have the 3-0 lead to show for it with 1:15 remaining in the first half. Thomas again tries the right side, but Nick Bonito was the first one to get to him and bring him to the ground. Pick up of a couple.
Nick Bonito, 6'4", 225-pound senior defensive end. He's approaching 30 college offers.
And I talked to Bonito yesterday. He also plays point guard on the basketball team at 6'4", 225. In fact, he was all-state in basketball his sophomore year. Didn't play last year because he had an ankle injury, but the kid's a terrific all-around athlete, 4-year varsity performer for the Raiders. As you see the clock continue to wind down, 25 seconds remaining. 3rd and 6. Thomas. It's going to bring up 4th down. The clock continues to run. Let's see if the STA calls the timeout and forces, and they do, Centennial to take the punt.
Yeah, kind of interesting there. Let a few more seconds run off the clock. So if you're Centennial right now, you just have got to make sure the snap is good and get the ball out of there.
Let's take a look at our Phoenix Children's Hospital Sports Medicine Injury Report. Specialized care for young athletes. From first assessment to follow-up, Arizona's only comprehensive sports medicine program for young athletes. Only at Phoenix Children's Hospital.
A couple really good players there for St. Thomas. Hopefully they'll be back soon. And then Anthony Campbell, an all-state defensive lineman last year. They're looking for him to come back. Yeah, most likely next week.
And Blanchard, he's actually out for the season. Talking with STA head coach Roger Harrod, he basically blew out everything in his knee. ACL, MCL. The senior will not return for the Raiders.
Yeah, when he was talking about his quarterback, he said he's got a small little stress fracture in his back. And I said, hey, coach, they're only small when they're not yours. I've had small fractures of fingers, and guess what? It still hurts like a big fracture.
There's nothing small about it. If you're hurt, you're hurt.
So you got to expect, if you're Centennial, bunch of white jerseys coming after this football.
11 seconds remaining. And it'll be A.J. Jackson set the punt, and the Raiders do have a player back to return. So they won't have all 11 up front. As they are now working on the clock. Should be 11.5 seconds, and they're working on that now. I'm sure STA wouldn't have minded having a minute 15 on the clock right now. And we got everything ironed out up here. Jackson to punt.
Get it off.
And a ball gets deflected, but gets the nice roll.
Don't touch the ball. There's no reason for you to touch the ball. Make the officials blow the whistle. You could have ran at least another 2 seconds off. Sometimes you get excited when you're out there on the football field, but you just don't. You don't want to give them one Hail Mary. You don't want to give them one chance to complete a pass and do something crazy. How many crazy things do you ever see at any level of football when it comes to the last play of the game or half?
We see it every weekend. So STA, with 1 second remaining, has the ball at their own 46-yard line. 3 receivers split to the left. Castile will be in shotgun. Daniel Carter will be the lone setback. What's the key here, Dale? Don't get beat deep. We got a whistle before the snap.
Timeout, Centennial. That's their final of the half.
Does Coach Taylor want to deliver that don't get beat deep speech one more time? He's certainly fired up as we take a look at our USA Today top 10. There you see Modern Day, #1 in the country. IMG, who played at Chandler earlier this season. And we got St. Thomas Aquinas, who we are watching right here, right now. And they beat #4 St. John Bosco earlier this season.
Some really, really good football teams there. Here's Centennial, not ranked in the top 10, 20, 30. But I tell you what, can really, really put their name on the map with a victory today. Even the effort just in the first half, it's been absolutely tremendous.
And Modern Day, #1 in the country, Centennial is actually trying to schedule them earlier. That deal fell through, and then St. Thomas Aquinas approached Richard Taylor, and they said, sure, we'll play you. That's how this game materialized. So here we go, 1 second remaining. Trips to the left. And it's going to be Kelly with room to run, cuts it back to the outside. Escobar finally gets his hands on him and helps bring him to the ground. And that'll do it after 1 half of football here at Centennial High School. And the Coyotes lead the #3 ranked team in the country, the St. Thomas Aquinas Raiders, thanks to the Xavier Rojas 33-yard field goal. And the Coyotes take the 3-0 lead into the locker room. We'll be back with more at halftime right here in the Game Time Game of the Week on YurView.
I do a lot of online shopping. I read a lot of reviews. Read the reviews on Sanderson Ford. I think you'll be pleasantly pleased. Everybody that's come through there is extremely excited when they walk out of Sanderson Ford. And I think if you go and look at their reviews, it's going to tell you that they're first-class service. They go out of their way above and beyond to make that customer happy, and you couldn't ask for any better company than Sanderson Ford.
Ford, America's best-selling brand. Sanderson Ford, America's best-selling Ford dealership.
Whenever a craving hits, Jack's got your back.
Somebody craving my really big chicken sandwich?
The really big chicken sandwich combo for $3.99. Double the chicken, double the cheese, topped with hickory smoked bacon, plus curly fries and a refreshing drink. All for just $3.99.
Thanks, Jack. You're welcome.
The $3.99 really big chicken sandwich combo, only at Jack in the Box.
Coming back to school is a big decision, but at AAI, we're with you every step of the way.
We offer career-focused education in skilled trades, and we work with you from the day you enroll through graduation to the ultimate goal of helping you move into the career of your dreams.
Now, if you're wrestling with the decision to come back to school, you may only see the obstacles in your way. We'll help you remove those obstacles one by one and get you where you want to be.
Check us out at aai.edu or call now and come visit with us.
Welcome back to the Game Time Game of the Week on YurView at Centennial High School. And it is the Coyotes leading the #3 ranked team in the country, St. Thomas Aquinas Raiders, by a count of 3-0. Well, after dropping the first 2 games of the season, Central High School is currently enjoying a 3-game winning streak. The Bobcats have a talented junior class, led in part by linemen Aloy and Cosmos Coyote, fraternal twins who have come a long way in learning the game of football. Aloy and Cosmos Coyote were born in the Democratic Republic of Congo, but their time in the Central African country was short-lived.
Everything was kind of violent. It was a period of war in the Congo. Life wasn't good, so that's why we fled to Zimbabwe for a better life.
The Coyote brothers were just 3 years old when their family moved south to a refugee camp in Zimbabwe.
The conditions were miserable because they give you like a certain amount of food according to a month. The food ends before the week, before the month ends, and you have to figure it on your own. At first, a couple of years before, there was electricity, and then there wasn't no electricity. Electricity wasn't available for anyone.
Safety was a concern as well. as there were inherent dangers living in the camp.
It's close to a game park. So a game park there are a bunch of wild animals, so sometimes they escape their zone and then they come to the human zone, where people live.
The game parks killed an elephant, which was coming into the camp.
The family eventually moved and settled in Harare, the largest and capital city of Zimbabwe. It was there that Aloy and Cosmos became standout rugby players, until the family relocated once again, arriving in Phoenix in the spring of 2016, looking for a better life and education. A few months later, they were introduced to the game of football.
I think I remember them putting the pants on backwards. I know that happened. One of them did. The shoulder pads were reversed the other way around. You know, the strings were in the back. Helmets they were good with.
I had some type of ideas about American football, but I wasn't sure about each and each of them.
What were the ideas you
The
had?
ideas were like you can hit someone without the ball, tackling, it's more manly and rough.
The first time I began playing football, I did what the coach told me to. Don't get afraid, you just go hit and lay on someone. And that's exactly what I did.
They knew nothing, so the technique was there. But one thing they did have is they ran to the football. They were chasing receivers, chasing backs, and they ran. So you can't coach that. You can't coach relentlessness, and that's what you want on a football player. They tackled very, very well. They were very aggressive. They were great with their hands. We just had to teach them the concept of here's where you line up, here's a 3-point stance, here's a 2-point stance, and then getting the whole kind of scheme of the defense.
The twins are now the leading 2 tacklers on the team, and Aloy's 80 tackles ranks amongst the most in the state. So as the brothers have become more comfortable on the football field, they are also enjoying some of the more simpler pleasures off of it.
When I started eating American food, I like pizza and McDonald's. I like it.
I love mostly Mexican food. Yeah, so Mexican food, I won't name any, but for now they say tacos maybe. Yeah. Oh, burritos, my bad. I say tacos actually for a snack, but burritos.
The Coyotes can speak 7 different languages and both carry high grade point averages in the classroom. Aloy would like to become a radiologist when his football days are over, while Cosmos wants to become a pilot. The brothers are also ranked in rugby for their age group here in the United States. As we take a look at the St. Thomas Aquinas High School cheer squad, and how about them making the trip all the way out here from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, cheering on their Raiders. Great to see they made the trip out west. And we now take a look at the Centennial Coyote Marching Band. When we come back, it'll be halftime highlights and stats here from Centennial High School. The Coyotes leading by a score of 3-0 over St. Thomas Aquinas.
Refresh yourself with a Polar Pop Cup from Circle K. It stays cold longer, and we offer more choices than ever before. More choices like Powerade, vitamin water, iced tea, and full throttle. Ready for the best part? You can get any size foam Polar Pop Cup for only 89 cents every day. More choices than ever before. Talk about refreshing. More choices, most value. At Circle K.
Whenever a craving hits, Jack's got your back.
Somebody craving my really big chicken sandwich?
The really big chicken sandwich combo for $3.99. Double the chicken, double the cheese, topped with hickory smoked bacon, plus curly fries and a refreshing drink. All for just $3.99.
Thanks, Jack. You're welcome.
The $3.99 really big chicken sandwich combo, only at Jack in the Box.
Come on, buddy, you can do it. Oh, man, this is so good.
Looking for a real good time? Come to Red Devil, where old traditions become new. Whether it's a special occasion or a night out on the town, Red Devil will meet all your dine-in and take-out needs at a price that's hard to beat. Red Devil, starting a new tradition.
Welcome back to the Game Time Game of the Week on YurView. It's halftime here at Centennial High School, and the Coyotes leading the number 3 ranked team in the country, St. Thomas Aquinas Raiders, by count of 3-0. Red Devil Italian Restaurant. Remember, Red Devil Italian Restaurant is your place for an authentic taste of Italy. 3 convenient locations around the valley. They have the best pizza, pasta, and wings around. Mention the YurView High School Football Game of the Week and get 15% off your order. Family owned since 1960. Looks pretty good, huh?
It looks very good. You've been eating that Red Devil for a long time. Really enjoy it. Glad they're a sponsor.
Getting kind of hungry just staring at that. Well, halftime here. Coyotes with that 3-0 lead. Your impressions when you saw there so far, Dale?
Yeah, obviously very, very physical game. Both defenses came to play. Be interested to see what changes these offensive coordinators make, because neither one of them are used to scoring 0 or 3 points in a half.
Definitely a defensive battle as we now take a look at the first half highlights and see how things unfolded early on.
Started off Centennial facing adversity. Muff for the punt. The defense comes back out and shuts them down. Look at the red jerseys running the football. You see Garcia in on the tackle and Christian Gomez. And the only points, field goal.
Xavier Rojas from 33 yards out.
And then you have Jalen Young with the interception. Young played tremendous first half.
Asante Samuel with a big stick early in the game.
Yeah, Samuel came up and threw a couple big licks and good coverage on the punt team, and just flying all over the field. Garcia again with another sack. Samuel, good cover corner, likes to come up and hit you in the mouth too.
There's just nowhere to run out there.
Yeah, you got a lot of humanity. Two big offensive lines. Talked a lot about Jacob Franklin the first half he plays. Zidane Thomas.
Nick Bonito, the big defensive end, making the play there for the Raiders as we take a look at the first half stats.
I think the big thing that's going to jump out at you is all those penalties on St. Thomas.
How about Centennial? 0 passing yards. Everything's on the ground.
And they're going to have to complete a couple passes here in the second half. Ruben Beltram going to have to throw the ball down the field a little bit because, you know, you look at that first half, Thomas had 11 carries. Escobar had 5. That was 16 of the 19 plays for Centennial in the first half.
Well, it is Armed Forces Appreciation Night tonight here at Centennial High School, and they are being honored right now at midfield. So they get a nice round of applause here by the fans, and we express our appreciation as well for everything that they do. So we're now going to step aside for a quick break. We'll be back with more here at halftime at Centennial High School. And the Coyotes leading the St. Thomas Aquinas Raiders by a count of 3-0. You're watching Game Time on YurView. We'll be right back.
Come on, buddy, you can do it. Oh, man, this is so good to be on.
Looking for a real good time? Come to Red Devil, where old traditions become new. Whether it's a special occasion or a night out on the town, Red Devil will meet all your dine-in and take-out needs at a price that's hard to beat. Red Devil, starting a new tradition.
Refresh yourself with a Polar Pop Cup from Circle K. It stays cold longer, and we offer more choices than ever before. More choices like Powerade, vitamin water, iced tea, and full throttle. Ready for the best part? You can get any size foam Polar Pop Cup for only 89 cents every day. More choices than ever before. Talk about refreshing. More choices, most value. At Circle K.
Are you talkies enough?
Capital of Iceland. Reykjavik. R-E-E-Y. Whoops.
Talkies. Taste the fury of our flavors and face the intensity.
Welcome back to the Game Time Game of the Week. Centennial leading St. Thomas Aquinas by a count of 3-0. Here are this week's Arizona Automotive Institute Games of the Week, AAI. Turn your dreams into reality with career training from AAI. And what a big victory it was for Cienega, knocking off Sal Point, and it was super athlete Jamari Joyner facing his old team in that battle, and Cienega gets the victory. And how about this game, Dale? Notre Dame Prep beating Chaparral 28-23. You were at that game.
I was at that game. Jake Smith, Cole Fisher, tremendous all-around athletes, great runners of the football, and good offensive line for Notre Dame as they move to 6-0.
Then you got Yuma Catholic and Castile playing tonight. Castile undefeated, Peoria and Cactus. That's always a big rivalry game when those two teams get together. The Panthers and the Cobras. Mountain Point and beating Desert Vista in the Awatuki Bowl for the 6th straight time in that matchup. And look at Red Mountain, 54-7 over Dobson. They had 3 interceptions. They returned for touchdowns, that Mountain Lion defense. And then Desert Ridge, 68 points they put up on Gilbert, who had 47 themselves, but not nearly enough. And then the Skyline in a must-win game for the Coyotes, getting the win over Mountain View by a count of 43-36. Let's now hear from Centennial head coach Richard Taylor who talks about how this matchup against St. Thomas Aquinas happened.
They have a hard time finding people that'll play them. You know, they play in California, they play in Nevada, they play in Cleveland, and so they're always kind of looking for people to play out of state. And for the last few years we have too, but oftentimes it's hard to work it into the schedule. This year, however, we had an option. We had Mater Dei from California, and that was pretty close. That game almost took place. And that fell through, and they called immediately, almost the next day, and our athletic director, Brett Palmer, spoke with them and got the ball rolling. Next thing, they're going to be here Friday.
Love the fact that Centennial head coach Richard Taylor is willing to take on all comers. And he loves those out-of-state matchups. Likes to face the toughest teams that are out there. All right, when we come back, we'll have the kickoff to the second half between Centennial and St. Thomas Aquinas right here on YurView.
Whenever a craving hits, Jack's got your back.
Somebody craving my really big chicken sandwich?
The really big chicken sandwich combo for $3.99. Double the chicken, double the cheese, topped with hickory smoked bacon, plus curly fries and a refreshing drink. All for just $3.99.
Thanks, Jack. You're welcome.
The $3.99 really big chicken sandwich combo, only at Jack in the Box.
If you want better opportunities in your life and your current job is taking you nowhere, you can look through the classified ads for a better job. You can apply for jobs that are out there, or you can call us at AAI and get the career training you need for a career you'll love.
A job is a short-term solution, but real change happens in your life when you're in a career that offers you satisfaction and rewards. Why just work at a job when you can build a strong foundation for a career you can be passionate about?
Check us out at aai.edu or call now.
What is Valle Luna Mexican Food and Cantinas? We are a true Arizona original, serving carefully prepared, authentic Sonoran-style cuisine since 1983. We are time-honored family recipes using only the freshest ingredients. Good fun, a family place, a gathering place. We are happy faces and happy hours. We are your new favorite neighborhood hangout. Valle Luna Mexican Food and Cantinas.
Welcome back to the Game Time Game of the Week on YurView. The Centennial Coyotes leading the St. Thomas Aquinas Raiders by a count of 3-0. And Dale, this first half was an absolute defensive struggle, which we kind of expected coming in to the leaders for the Raiders. Asante Samuel in a big first half for the Coyotes, Jaden Young.
Yeah, Jaden Young did a tremendous job. A lot of guys pitched in for St. Aquinas. Again, a lot of people around the football, a lot of athletes, and as physical a high school football game as I've seen in quite a long time.
Good look at Richard Taylor. Got to feel good about his team after the first half with that 3-0 lead.
We talked about in the open 25th season, 220. 170-3, and is the only coach the school has ever had.
He's done a fantastic job, no question about it. Well, this week on YurView's High School Football Recruiting Podcast, Trent Dilfer joins us to discuss his Elite 11 QB camp and the NFL Network documentary on the subject. Adam Gorney from Rivals.com talks high school football recruiting. And former Tulsa coach and now Owasso high school coach Bill Blankenship will tee up the talent matchup for this week's Owasso versus Union game out of the Oklahoma area. Blankenship was also the former coach at Union, so emotions will certainly be running high there. All that and more in this week's episode of Over the Middle podcast. Check it out on YurView.com.
Talking to the defensive coordinator yesterday from St. Thomas, Amir Riley. Interesting talk with them. Said this team is so selfless. They play together. They trust each other. And for a school that gets travel like they do, they stay in really nice hotels. all of that stuff, a lot of times that would go to a 17, 18-year-old kid's head. Has not happened here at St. Aquinas.
Talked to a few of the players, and they were all very cordial, well-behaved, just very well-spoken individuals. Had a nice, friendly chat with about 5 or 6 of them. Xavier Rojas put the only points on the board in the first half, set to kick off here in the second half. Tavares Kelly to return for the Raiders. Tries to find a hole up the middle, gets popped. And laying the wood was number 43, Christian Gomez. Getting it done on special teams. We've seen him at middle linebacker, but big hit here.
5'11", 235 pounds. Fighting off the block, lowers the shoulder. Tremendous job on the kickoff coverage, because you do not want Kelly to get a full head of steam in open field.
Great work there by Gomez. Also a very talented artist and drawer. Likes to draw animals, nature items. He was honorable mention at a Peoria art show. We got a new quarterback now checked in for St. Thomas Aquinas. It's going to be the other junior quarterback, Kyle Engel. Throws it out in the flat to Kelly. So they come out with a new quarterback here to start the second half.
Yeah, kind of interesting, but you know, you scored 0 points in the first half. One of the attributes of this team is the depth that it has on it. Engel, another junior, you see the numbers there. 53.3% completion percentage, no interceptions. Give him a chance to see if he can't move the Raiders down the field and put some points on the board.
2nd down and 6, trips to the left, single receiver to the right. It's going to be a handoff to Daniel Carter. And it's that Centennial defense making another nice stop. Great penetration.
You got to tip your cap to both these defenses. They've risen to the challenge. They knew it was going to be physical up front. They've both been very, very physical.
And you take a look at Castile's numbers from the first half, 8 of 15, 94 yards, and the interception. So he finds himself watching the second half from the sidelines while Kyle Engel takes over. 3rd and 5 for the Raiders from their own 26-yard line. Engel fires, ball gets knocked to the ground. Nice play there. Christian Gomez, we see him flying everywhere here tonight.
Well, Centennial very, very fortunate that they weren't called offsides here. Watch over here on the right side of your screen. Could have just as easily been called offside and get an automatic first down. You don't want to give away first downs if you're Centennial.
So the Centennial defense comes up big once again, forcing the Raiders to punt. Alex McCourt with the punt. A high booming punt. Ball is dropped to the ground and recovered once again. A.J. Jackson, that is the 2nd time tonight. Had some issues there handling the punt.
It's really been the 3rd time. I'm not so sure if I'm the coaching staff and Richard Taylor for Centennial, how on earth that ball, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 white jerseys and 1 red jersey bouncing right back to you. I'm not so sure. I do not put a guy back there to return the punt and let it bounce to where it's going to bounce, and we'll take the ball there.
Look at Beltram's numbers, had just the 1 pass in the first half. Centennial is certainly a ground and pound team. Beltram now looking to throw a 2nd pass of the night before that happens. Coming in and get the sack for St. Thomas Aquinas. Number 54, Tyler Steen. He'll be playing his college ball at Louisville next year.
Just know where to go with the football, and you got to get rid of this football right now. Working against Jacob Fife over there at left tackle. Steen, 6'6", 280-pound senior with the inside move. Good-looking athlete.
Loss of 6 on the play, 2nd and 16. 2 receivers to the right. Handoff to Thomas. Great penetration by that Raiders defense. Number 43, Anthony Solomon, in to make the play.
Well, that's the thing. If you're going to run the football and you're going to try and grind this out, you can't take negative plays. You see number 44 stepping up there, number 43 in the backfield there. With those big defensive linemen, these linebackers get to run free a lot, and they're great athletes. Get up there and make the play.
Solomon, just a junior, setting up for the screen, coming in to make the tackle. This time it's Rocky Shelton, so those linebackers are making plays.
Well, if you're going to go by the name Rocky, you better be a hard-hitting linebacker. 6 foot, 210-pound senior, read the screen, as I was saying before that last replay. The thing is, if you're going to try and ground this out and be physical and gain 2 and 3 and 4 yards, you cannot take negative plays because you get behind the chains, and that game plan has to go out the window.
4th and 17, A.J. Jackson's going to take the snap from about his own 9-yard line. Gets it away. Kelly to return for STA. Up the middle, has room. Nice job making the tackle, number 42 for the Coyotes.
Well, I think they're going to get Nick Bonito with a block in the back downfield. Had nothing to do with the play. Tell you what, this Raider punt return team loves to block for their punt returner.
Absolutely. And you can watch the replay of tonight's game Saturday at 3 p.m. only on YurView, Cox Channel 4. St. Thomas Aquinas head coach Roger Harriet wants to hear the explanation from the official.
And the thing about football rules that sometimes don't make sense, these could be offsetting penalties, even though one's a personal foul and one's a 5-yard penalty.
That doesn't seem quite fair.
Illegal formation, Centennial. That penalty is declined. Personal foul on the return team. 15 yards from the end of the run. First down.
Well, you only have 4 people in the backfield. So I'm not sure if at the top they're considering him in the backfield, but that's when you look over at the official and say, am I in a good position? The official's standing right there, and that's the one who dropped it. So it's either that or the wing back who's back a little too far. Usually officials will warn the coach and say, hey, make sure your guys get up there a little bit. They're creeping back before they throw a flag. So whether they've been warned or not, obviously we're not down on the field.
So Kyle Engel comes back out for his 2nd series for the Raiders. Tries to dump it off to his running back, Riley Allison, but it falls incomplete.
Just out in front of him a little bit too far. And the thing is, if that ball's where it needs to be, see if this ball goes forward or backward, and it's one of those situations to where, again, if I'm a player, if I'm a coach, go get that ball. Do not leave that in the official's hands to determine if it was a forward pass or if it was a lateral.
It's going to go to 2nd down and 10 from the 45-yard line. Engel overthrows everybody. Falls incomplete.
Yeah, both these quarterbacks for St. Thomas struggling to throw the football.
Defense continues here in the 2nd half for both teams.
Well, both teams are so one-dimensional. If either one of these offenses could hit a pass down the field, loosen up the defenses a little bit, it'd be a lot easier for them.
St. Thomas Aquinas 1 of 8 on 3rd down conversions. Incomplete once again. It's going to bring up 4th down and 10.
Well, and as you look at these things, some of these passes aren't even close.
Okay.
Both defenses playing really, really well, but when you only have to worry about one facet of the game, it makes it a lot easier on those defensive coordinators.
McCourt back to punt. Nice looking ball. Going to get a little bit of a roll out of it too. Then decides to head the other direction. Going to come out to the 21-yard line. And we touched on it earlier how this was not just another game for Zidane Thomas. He grew up in Florida. He's got family back in Florida. In fact, his younger brother plays high school ball at Jefferson High in Tampa. And his mother, Hillary Barrett, she flew in today from Tampa. And tonight is watching Zidane play for the first time in person. Hillary surprised Zidane. Zidane had no idea she was coming until just before the game.
Pretty cool story, pretty cool story.
She saw him on YurView.com, the game we had against Pinnacle. Beltram scrambling, picks up a couple of yards.
We pointed out Nick Bonito a couple times, and you watch him. He's going to come out over on this side of your screen, right there, number 15, 225-pound senior. And when Jason Taylor, a Hall of Famer, said Nick Bonito might have the quickest first step of anybody I've seen play football on any level. And I stopped and I looked at him again, and he said, yes, that's what I said, any level.
That is an impressive statement. And a great run here by Alex Escobar. And we've got a flag on the play after a pickup of 19 for Escobar.
I'm not wondering if they're going to get Trinell Troutman for helmet-to-helmet contact, the 190-pound senior.
Mask number 2 on the defense, 15 yards from the end of the run, first down.
So another penalty against the Raiders.
Run a little option, watch him come down the line. Give a lot of credit to Ruben Beltran. So he takes a snap here, knows he's going to take a hit. See Escobar elude one tackler, and he did get that left hand up in there, and probably thinking I'm saving a touchdown right here, although he had some of his buddies coming up behind him.
So big run by Escobar. You throw the penalty on top of it, and the Coyotes now have the ball at STA's 46-yard line. Boy, there was just nowhere to go there for Thomas. In on the tackle for the Raiders, Tyler Steen.
Again, you see all these big, good-looking athletes for St. Thomas, and Centennial just continues to hang tough, and a little frustration here and there. I mean, obviously, you're talking about two really talented defenses. Both offenses, obviously, are works in progress.
6:30 remaining here, third quarter. Two receivers split to the right. Thomas, your lone setback. Thomas takes it, cuts it inside. A gain of about 2 on the play. And the helmet comes off there for St. Thomas Aquinas, Jordan Battle. Look at the numbers by halves for Zidane Thomas. 11 carries for 50 yards. Second half, 3 carries for 0 yards.
As we said, until one of these quarterbacks can complete a pass down the field, there's absolutely no reason for either of the defenses to fear the receivers.
Two receivers split right. Thomas, they fake the handoff. Beltram rolls right. Tries to get to the corner, but can't. Anthony Solomon there is there to make the tackle, and Solomon is another special athlete for the Raiders. He's got offers from Alabama, Clemson, Michigan, Florida State, and Miami.
6'1", 205 pounds with just great closing speed. A lot of times, Ruben Beltram with his speeds thinking, hey, I broke contain, I can pick up this first down, because there was nobody open down the field. But then you go Anthony Solomon out of absolutely nowhere. You see A.J. Blades, another one of those highly decorated seniors.
And he's committed to go to Miami. His late father, Al Sr., started for the Miami Hurricanes, as did Al Jr.'s uncles, Benny and Brian Blades. So he's going to continue that Blades tradition down at Coral Gables. Another good look at Blades. Extremely athletic, very talented, charismatic kid who conducts himself like a pro.
That's the second time his snap hit the ground, and you got to give A.J. Jackson a lot of credit under a little bit of pressure. Still able to get the ball off and very close to having that block. That's his second snap that's hit the ground on punts.
And that was Nick Bonito there, the basketball star, almost getting the block. Showing his hops.
Always understand when you're going to block a punt, you got to get your hands out in front of you, take the ball off the punter's foot, you jump up in the air, you're going to miss it. I don't care if you can jump to the sky.
He's got a vertical on him. 1st and 10. St. Thomas Aquinas from their own 23. Angle drops back, and he's going to get drilled. Number 32 for Centennial, making the big hit. Connor Knudsen, the junior.
You're going to see him come right here. He's 5'9", 215 pounds. Little miscommunication between the right tackle, Dumerville, and the running back, Daniel Carter. Always have to make a decision. If you're Dumerville, you cannot leave your running back hung out to dry like that and act like you're going to block both of them and then really block neither.
It's going to bring up 2nd and 16. Trips to the left, single receiver to the right. Angle dumps it, tries to dump it to the running back. Not able to hang on to it, though, is Riley Allison.
I think you're seeing some uncharacteristic mistakes by St. Thomas. You know, there could be so many things that go into it. As we mentioned, they played Monday night, flew out here Wednesday, playing 2 games within 5 days. It's not so much the physical toll on young kids' bodies, because they can be fresh fairly quickly, but a lot of times it's the mental toll, and I think you're seeing some of those mistakes that are more mental than physical.
3rd and 16. Angle looking left, fires across the middle. It's going to fall incomplete. With the intended receiver was Marcus Roseme. Bring up 4th down.
Some of these throws are from both quarterbacks. They're not even in the same zip code as the receivers. And you continue to do that, and the frustration level just continues to build, not only with the receiving core and offense, but your entire football team.
Nice punt here, getting a great roll. The ball's going to be down at about the 40-yard line. Let's now take a look at the St. Thomas Aquinas schedule. Now you remember that they went 24 games, 24 days without playing a game. And they also have 1 victory by forfeit. So the record is actually 4-0, but you just see the 3 victories here on your screen.
Yeah, and obviously play a team like St. John Bosco. You know this defense is as good as there is in the country. So you got to match them step for step.
Beltram rolls right, has his receiver making the catch is J.L. Stark, fighting for the 1st down. Can be stopped just short.
Oh, you gotta like this. Stark 5'7", 168 pounds. Centennial's skill guys lowering their shoulder, trying to gain extra yards. Ball's a little low. Stark able to reach down to his ankles, pick the ball up, and almost pick up the 1st down.
And that's just the 2nd completion on the night for Beltram. If they can pick up some positive yardage with the pass, try to open up that running game a little bit. 2nd and 1. trips. 2 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Escobar is the lone setback.
Timeout. Centennial. That's their first of the half.
Well, as I said, that just didn't look right. People were moving a little bit, and nice timeout by Richard Taylor.
It's time to take a Circle K Polar Pop timeout. Centennial leading St. Thomas Aquinas by a score of 3-0. Stay tuned for more game time on YurView after the Circle K Polar Pop timeout.
Come on, buddy, you can do it. Oh, man, this is so good beyond. Oh!
Looking for a real good time? Come to Red Devil, where old traditions become new. Whether it's a special occasion or a night out on the town, Red Devil will meet all your dine-in and take-out needs at a price that's hard to beat. Red Devil, starting a new tradition.
What makes EVIT better than other schools is that it's very hands-on, and the teachers, you can tell they really want to teach. They love teaching their students. The people who work here really care about what they're doing.
Welcome back to the Game Time Game of the Week on YurView. Centennial fans fired up. Cheer squad included. Their Coyotes leading by a score of 3-0 over the Raiders. There's a good look at George Smith. He took over the St. Thomas Aquinas program in 1975 and remained the Raiders head coach for 34 years. Won 2 national championships, 6 state titles, and finished runner-up on 7 other occasions. And he's been inducted into numerous Florida Halls of Fame. He's spent a total of 46 years at STA. We had a chance to chat with him for a few minutes yesterday at practice. Quite an engaging man. Definitely the patriarch of the STA football program. Escobar with the carry, not much there.
Not much there, but enough for the first down. And you know, when you're talking about the patriarch of the STA family, we've got to swap stories. He coached Michael Irvin, a former teammate of mine. A lot of the things that Michael had in him in late 20s, early 30s, as far as work ethic and being a teammate and being there for you. He said the same thing about him when he was in high school, so it's kind of neat to reminisce about one of the greatest of all time. Still consider him a good friend, and he's Uncle Michael to my 2 daughters, Hillary and Campbell.
Uncle Michael.
Uncle Michael.
The playmaker. Beltram.
I don't quite understand what's going on here with Centennial. They're going to get illegal motion here.
Illegal shift on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down.
You just see some of these things happening that are just very un-Centennial-like. You're going to watch right here. He's going to stand up while he's moving right over there. Can't do that. And there's really no reason for it, so you wonder, is it the communication? Is this new stuff that Centennial's putting in? You can see the coach is trying to figure it out. It's just very uncharacteristic.
And that was Joe McDonald, the offensive line coach for Centennial that Richard Taylor was talking to. Trying to figure it all out. And another penalty flag comes down.
I think they're going to get another illegal motion on Centennial.
Illegal shift. Offense. 2-minute motion. That penalty is declined. 2nd down.
And what's happening is there's one other guy moving on it. That time it was the right tackle. I think it was Daniel Thomas. He just reshifted his weight, but his entire body moved. as you have a guy in motion, and these officials are very aware of it, so you just got to lock that down.
Pushes the Coyotes back 5 more yards, 2nd down and 15. Handoff Thomas tries to bounce it to the outside. Able to fight through some tacklers. Nice pickup there for Zidane Thomas.
Well, I think he's also wanting to prove, hey, I know I've committed to Boise State, and all you guys are headed to the SEC and ACC and Big Ten, and I'm every bit as good as you are. And a lot of times you play with that chip on your shoulder. And he's not going to shy away from contact. Not used to these kind of numbers, but can he keep the frustration from building as this game goes along?
Thomas came into tonight with 785 yards and 10 touchdowns, averaging almost 12 yards a carry. There's a quick pitch out to Escobar. Rocky Shelton in on the tackle for the Raiders.
And Rocky Shelton, he's 6 foot, 210 pounds, runs like he's about 5'10", 170 pounds from sideline to sideline, covers a lot of space for this Raider defense.
Escobar, a nice night as well. 9 carries for 54 yards, 6 yards a pop. We've got 35 seconds remaining here in the 3rd quarter. 4th down and 11. A.J. Jackson back to punt. T.K. Kelly to return. Nice punt by Jackson. He tries to kick it away from Kelly. Ball is on the ground, recovered by Centennial. And there's the official call, Coyotes ball. Kelly with the fumble. And coming up with the recovery is Centennial.
Going over there, you're trying to make a play, making a difficult catch on a very good punt. You talk about being in the right place at the right time. Marquise Walker able to jump on the football right there. And you talk about a momentum change possibility. Give your offense great field position.
We've seen some huge special teams plays and miscues here tonight. And now Richard Taylor's team with an opportunity to try to cash it in with some points. But that will have to wait until the 4th quarter. After 3, the Centennial Coyotes leading the St. Thomas Aquinas Raiders, number 3 ranked team in the country, by a count of 3-0. You're watching the Game Time Game of the Week on YurView. We'll be right back.
What is Valle Luna Mexican Food and Cantinas? We are a true Arizona original, serving carefully prepared, authentic Sonoran-style cuisine since 1983. We are time-honored family recipes using only the freshest ingredients. Good fun, a family place, a gathering place. We are happy faces and happy hours. We are your new favorite neighborhood hangout. Valle Luna Mexican Food and Cantinas.
Ford was the only company that we really wanted to go with. Their reputation, the credibility that they have, Sanderson has that. Sanderson Ford does a really good job with their start team. They got with each one of my kids and sat in the car with them, went over every detail of the car. And for them to take the time with each one of my kids and go over every little detail in the car, that's pretty unique.
Ford, America's best-selling brand. Sanderson Ford, America's best-selling Ford dealership.
Trolls.
Go, 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 go,
This is Contour from Cox. Cable TV reimagined to get you right to the good stuff.
Welcome back to the Game Time Game of the Week on YurView from Centennial High School. And the Coyotes leading St. Thomas Aquinas from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, the number 3 ranked team in the country, by a score of 3-0.
Well, great field position. One thing Richard Taylor said before the game, when I say, hey, a couple things you got to do to win the game, he said, we have got to win the penalty and turnover ratio to have a chance to win this football game.
And he also said that they needed to steal a possession or two, and they have the opportunity right now off the muffed punt return by St. Thomas Aquinas. Coyotes take over from the STA 18-yard line. Thomas tries to fight through a couple tacklers. Nice pickup. Take a look at the yards in the third quarter.
Yeah,
Centennial just 37, STA with just 6.
Yeah, that's just really, really good defense. A couple quarterbacks having problems completing passes, but you got to give credit because it's so important if you're Centennial right now to punch this ball in the end zone. You do not want to end up with a field goal that sets you up for a slip or anything by a defender, and you could be down 7-6 in a blink of an eye.
2nd down and 5. Beltram, handoff Thomas. Great pursuit. Nick Bonito for the Raiders, along with Jalen Mackey.
Thing about both these defenses I've noticed tonight is initially there have been some holes. There's a hole there over Coudray and Fife on the left side, but they close so quickly against this Raider defense, and it's been the same thing on the other side of the football. St. Thomas has had some opportunities. There's been some holes initially, but the defenders are closing them so fast.
The overall team speed has been impressive. As you saw the numbers for Thomas, he's almost at 850 yards now for the season. 3rd and 3. Inside handoff Escobar, and he gets dragged to the ground, making the tackle there for the Raiders. Big number 59, Des Jean.
Yeah, right there in the middle of your screen, trying to knock him down and come off to the linebacker. Really difficult. I don't care how good you are to get movement on a 420-pound man. I don't care how strong you are. Matt Coudray, 6'1", 280 pounds. He's only a junior. He'll never play against somebody Des Jean's size.
An athletic 400 pounds on top of that. 29-yard field goal attempt for Xavier Rojas. Good from 33 in the first half. And he's good from 29 here in the second half. Extends the Centennial lead to 6-0. And it's time to take a Circle K Polar Pop timeout. The Coyotes leading the Raiders by a score of 6-0. Stay tuned for more game time on YurView after the Circle K Polar Pop timeout.
Brandon's played sports since he was about 4 years old. He was playing flag football and tweaked his knee. We ended up taking him to Phoenix Children's. The doctors confirmed that the ACL was torn, and we were given the option to not surgically repair, but then he would have to stop all sports. Brandon was devastated. We ended up going forward with the surgery. When the doctor gave him the thumbs up, he wanted to go back out onto the playing field that night. Phoenix Children's played a huge role in getting him back to sports.
What makes EVIT better than other schools is that it's very hands-on, and the teachers, you can tell they really want to teach. They love teaching their students. The people who work here really care about what they're doing.
Centennial cheer squad fired up. Their Coyotes lead the Raiders by a count of 6-0 on the Game Time Game of the Week on YurView. Xavier Rojas, the difference here tonight with 2 field goals. One from 33 yards, the other one from 29 yards.
Love the way he kicks his field goals, looks so confident out there. There's absolutely no doubt when the ball leaves his foot that it's going through the uprights.
And he's a 4-star kicker from Coles as well as Saylor, one of the top kickers around. Kicks one short and to the sideline. It will go out of bounds. Raiders will take over from the 35-yard line. Well, the good folks from Red Devil Italian Restaurant always take great care of us. They have the best pizza, pasta, and wings in town at their 3 locations. Mention the YurView High School Football Game of the Week. You'll receive 15% off your order. Here's tonight's Red Devil delivery of the game, family owned since 1960. And the play is the fumbled punt return by Kelly. And it was recovered by number 31, Marquise Walker. The delivery of the game.
Wonder why none of that pizza made it up here to the press box.
It usually does.
Interesting.
We got snuffed out tonight. I always look forward to that. But it is Military Appreciation Night, so I think the pizza ended up in the right hands this evening. And Castile back in at quarterback for the Raiders and finds a streaking receiver down the sidelines, number 81, Marcus Rosemead, that goes right through his hands.
6'2", 175-pound sophomore. Best ball I've seen thrown from a St. Thomas quarterback this evening. Pretty decent coverage down the field there by Keegan Clark. But boy, we talked about that. You kick a field goal, you go up 6-0 in this game. You're one play away from being down 7-6.
And that was a great looking ball there by Kirk Castile, back in at quarterback for the Raiders. Stands in the pocket, now breaks containment to the outside. Hits the receiver, Tarik Phillips. It looks like he's going to be marked just short of a first down.
All these tall, rangy, athletic receivers to throw the ball to. 6'4", 190 pounds. You can see a little desperation in this Raider offense. And again, 2 of the better throws, or the 2 best throws that Castile has had all evening have come on the last 2 passes.
It's going to bring up 3rd down and 1. And this Centennial defense tonight has 3 3-and-outs. Let's see if they can get their 4th of the night right here. Castile shotgun, he's going to keep it. Gets hit right at the marker. It's going to be close to the spot. Let's see if they give it to him.
I just always get such a kick out of his massive humanity, and the officials act like they know where the football was. Designed quarterback run the entire time behind that offensive line. But I tell you what, another fantastic play by Jacob Franklin, snaking his way in there and almost stopping him short of the first down.
And a big hit there by Jordan Ware, the senior outside linebacker. Putting a big stick on Castile. Castile looking left. Has his receiver. Elijah Moore eludes the tackle, still on his feet. Christian Gomez comes in and finally makes the tackle. But a 25-yard pickup for Elijah Moore.
The thing that's changed for the Raiders offense is Castile's buying a little extra time with his feet. That pass rush isn't quite getting there, and as good as these receivers are, you cannot cover them for as long as Castile is holding the ball. Imperative that the Coyote defense get back to putting pressure on the quarterback.
5 catches on the night for Moore for 57 yards. He had 5 catches coming into tonight's game for the season. With the carry there for the Raiders, Nigel White, the junior running back.
Just good old-fashioned counter. Bring him in, you see White, 7 rushes on the season. 5'10", 150-pound junior.
2 receivers split to the right, 2 to the left. Castile goes shotgun. White is the setback as Kelly goes in motion. Castile looks right. He's going to get sacked. Big play defensively for the Coyotes. Connor Knudsen, the junior, with the big hit.
It's the exact same thing they did earlier. I'm shocked that they have not changed it here. Miscommunication, I think that's on Dumerville. He's acting like he's going to block both guys. Your running back, he has to make a decision. This time, it was number 26, Nigel Knight, who was left out to dry, and same exact blitz that resulted in a sack the previous time.
And that's the third sack on the night for Centennial. 3rd and 12. Castile across the middle of the field. In and out of the hands of his intended receiver, Tarik Phillips. It's going to bring up 4th down and 12.
You're sitting here with 6 minutes, 19 seconds left, and you're got to have a lot of faith in your defense the way they've played tonight.
And the Raiders are going to go for it. The ball is at the Centennial 32-yard line. The Raiders 1 of 2 on 4th down conversions tonight. Castile shotgun, Kelly in motion. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Castile looks to the right, has his receiver Elijah Moore, cuts it back inside, still on his feet, but he's going to be stopped short of the 1st down.
Well, there's a flag on the play, and I have a feeling Centennial brought a blitz. All right, or they're going to call illegal motion.
Illegal shift on the offense. That penalty is declined. 1st down.
So another big stop defensively for the Coyotes.
Remember, can't have 2 guys in motion. We watch this replay unfold. There's 1. There's 2. You can come set after that, and then it wouldn't be considered illegal motion, but cannot continue on with your motion.
Roger Harriet's offense not able to get anything going tonight against this Centennial defense. And Coyotes now take over from their own 27-yard line. Handoff, Zidane Thomas eludes 2 tacklers. Still fighting for more yards. Terrific effort there by Zidane Thomas.
A lot of running for a couple yards. Look at all these white jerseys right here. Now I'm going to tell you, the hole is going to be here. Zidane is going to bounce this outside. You got to remember, these guys are a little bit more athletic and quicker and faster than the teams that he's played so far here in Arizona. But nice physical run. Breaks a tackle of a really good defender, Nick Bonito.
It's not so easy to throw a stiff arm at Nick Bonito either. Showing some of that strength as Zidane Thomas has. Thomas tries the left side, and he's got nowhere to go as this play gets strung out by that Raiders defense, who gives great pursuit.
Centennial moves 2 blockers over to the left side. St. Thomas adjusts accordingly defensively, and as we've talked, both these teams' defenses are so fast and can cover sideline to sideline, just really hard to break those outside runs.
We talk about this being a defensive struggle, defensive battle. St. Thomas Aquinas 160 total yards, Centennial 122. That 122 is usually about where Zidane Thomas is for rushing on a night. Not so much tonight. 3rd and 12 for the Coyotes. There's a pitch. It's going to be a fumble. Boy, that could have been big trouble there as Nick Bonito was giving chase to that loose ball.
And we talk about great athletes. Watch this paw come up right there. Now, the thing about it is, if Beltram had held on to that for a split second longer, there was nobody else outside except for Bonito making a play on the football.
And speaking of making a play on the football, how about Alex Escobar going after Nick Bonito to make sure Bonito didn't come up with the fumble recovery. And watching the ball roll out of bounds. Great hustle by Alex Escobar.
Yes, I got it.
Now brings up 4th and 22. We're going to have a Centennial timeout. And here are last week's Takis Hot Players of the Week. Takis face the intensity. Christian Velasquez, check out these numbers, Dale. 514 yards on the ground, 9 touchdowns. Those are both 2A state records for San Manuel. Their victory over Tombstone. Then you got Israel Lovall from Baghdad. Check out his night against NFL Academy. 7 first-half touchdowns. He needs just 5 more TD passes to set a national 8-man record. And then Chris Jackson from Mesa, that 341s. That is an all-time record at Mesa High School for a single game.
Mesa High School's been around for a long time and seen a lot of really good players come through there.
So kudos to Chris Jackson for that mark. And then Jakim McKinney from Mountain Point, 200 yards in their victory. Fourth and 22. A.J. Jackson standing in the end zone. Gets ready to take this snap. Gets it away. Kelly, the return man, is just going to let this one go as Jackson gets the nice roll. Coyotes are going to down it at the 45-yard line and a 44-yard punt for Jackson.
You couldn't have asked for anything better for Centennial right there. That is the best case scenario you could have hoped for as you lined up for that punt deep in your own territory. But again, given this St. Thomas offense, another opportunity, and that kid right there, Kurt Castile, looked a lot more accurate on his last drive than he did in the first half.
You see those numbers now, 11 of 20, 137 yards, and the 1 interception, much improved from the first half. Castile's getting looks from Boston College, Syracuse, and Cincinnati. He's got a 4.3 GPA, also part of the student council at St. Thomas Aquinas, vice president of the student council, a well-rounded young man. Let's see what he can do here with 4:48 remaining, fourth quarter. Inside handoff to Daniel Carter. He's still on his feet, pushing forward. What a great push there, a pickup of 7 yards.
Just kept those legs churning, 5'11", 205 pounds. Just continued to drive and push as on. They've contacted, just really physical job by this defense and just kept plugging away.
It's going to bring up 2nd down and 3 for Centennial. We got a whistle before the snap.
Prior to the snap, false start. Offense number 72. 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Another penalty against this STA team.
Moves him back 5 yards.
2nd and 8, 2 receivers split right, 2 to the left. Carter is the lone setback. Castile finds his receiver, Kelly. Gets thrown out of bounds. It's going to bring up 3rd down for the Raiders.
This Centennial defense has just played absolutely lights out all night long. Let's see what this Raider offense can come up with. Need a 1st down.
3rd and 2, 4:04 remaining. Castile looking to throw again. Big rush by Centennial, but they can't bring Castile down. The big quarterback picks up the 1st down and more. What a huge play by Kurt Castile.
Boy, I tell you what, this is a play that's going to make Centennial's defense sick. You have him dead to rights. Garcia in there again. He slips out of there. Instead of coming up and making the tackle, Hampton, watching college and professionals, just tries to take a shot at him, have to wrap up. Nice physical run by Castile and gave his team some energy.
A 17-yard pickup for Castile. as STA converts the third down. They now have the ball at the Centennial 30-yard line. We see a Centennial player down. Let's now hear from STA head coach Roger Harry about playing 2 games in 5 days.
It's definitely a challenge, to say the least. You know, it's obviously not your typical situation, but we truly believe that adversity builds and breeds opportunity, and it gives us the motivation to go out and do something extraordinary. And we're grateful that God has blessed us with the ability and the resources to come out to Arizona and give an Aquinas effort.
That can't be easy, playing 2 games in 5 days and traveling across the country on top of that.
Well, that's the other thing you look at there. And not sure what the delay is here.
First and 10 for the Raiders from the Centennial 30-yard line. 3:40 remaining. Castile dumps it out to Carter. Carter turns it upfield. Gets brought down inbounds. So clock will continue to run as the Centennial player drops to the field once again. This time it's Jacob Franklin, the defensive end.
Well, I'm not so sure the effort level that the Centennial defense, really both defenses, have given tonight, that it's almost not pure exhaustion here in the last 3 minutes of the football game.
Taking a look at that Centennial schedule. Here they are, week number 6, second half of the season. 5-0 coming into tonight. Big win over Pinnacle 2 weeks ago, and they beat Maricopa 44-0, and the Rams are now 5-1 on the season. Big win against Westview, and they also got Liberty, a big West Side battle at the end of the season.
Well, again, this is a team you're going to pay attention to come November for sure.
Richard Taylor's team's used to playing for state championships and winning them. And we got Zidane Thomas in on defense for the Coyotes, filling in for Franklin. Castillo goes up top, tries to find Marcus Rosemy, falls incomplete. Rosemy looking for a flag, not going to get it.
Well, one bit of advice to Kieran Clark, number 17 for Centennial: don't look around. You didn't do anything wrong here. You're playing defense. You got your hand up. Don't look around with your hands up, because if I'm an official, I guess if I'm a St. Thomas fan, I could say, you know what? Probably should have been a flag on that play, but don't hold your hands up in the air and look around to the officials to see if they're throwing a flag. Run back to the huddle.
That's the I'm guilty sign. 3rd and 3. Carter with the carry, tries to turn it upfield. There's a flag on the play as Carter is dropped short of a first down. Let's see what the flag is for.
So the question is,
illegal shift, offense, 2 men in motion, 5 yards from the previous spot, still 3rd down.
the question would have been 4th and 2 or 3rd and 7, and that was the decision that Coach Taylor and his staff had to come up with. So let's take a look over here and see. And they've done that a number of times tonight. You just usually don't see that midway through the season.
This is STA's 4th game of the season. Don't expect to see those types of penalties this deep into the year. And the Raiders are going to call a timeout here. Talk about some things with 3rd and 7 with 3:03 remaining in the game.
Just seems like there's some confusion on their sidelines, and some of it might be the coaching staff, some of it might be the players, but they are definitely not on the same page.
Let's now hear from Centennial head coach Richard Taylor talking about playing out-of-state opponents.
When you play better teams, that helps you, and And plus, just the fact that they're ranked in the nation, the excitement of a team coming in from out of state with a big name, I think is attractive to our fans, our community, and our kids know how good they are, and it helps them prepare better, and I think in the long run makes us a better team.
That's the Richard Taylor that I've known over the last 10 years or so. I don't know if his blood pressure gets over like 90.
It never goes up.
You know, I mean, I've seen him a couple times on the sideline, show a little emotion, but just easy, calm. You know, I just love to be out here and shucks and just win football games.
That's what happens when you're a head coach for 25 years. 3rd and 7, Castile. Across the middle, ball is tipped away by Jaden Young. And what a terrific night the junior strong safety has had for the Coyotes.
Yeah, the only thing that he'd like to, a little whipped cream on top of this Sunday of a game would have been to come up with that football, brings up 4th down, but just great instincts. And remember, Jaden Young is only a junior.
Younger brother of Dedrick Young, former star at Centennial. 4th and 7. Castile on the blitz for Centennial, getting the sack. Number 29, Devin Butler, the senior.
Centennial continuing to bring pressure. You can pick your poison. Am I going to rush 3, drop 8? But watch right here. Centennial is going to bring pressure. They've had success doing it all night long. A lot of guys running free. There's offensive linemen to block them, but they have obviously been confused up front with this blitz scheme that Centennial and Andrew Taylor put in for this game.
Another terrific stand for the Centennial defense. This time it's Devin Butler getting the 4th down sack. 2:52 remaining. Centennial offense takes over from the 35-yard line. Beltram with the handoff to Thomas. Pickup of a couple. Now remember, Thomas, he was playing on defense as well that last possession.
I think he's saying, Coach, I want to do whatever I can to help us win this football game. Well, again, it's strength on strength right now as St. Thomas calls their 2nd timeout. They're going to have 1 timeout left, I believe, when this is done.
And there's Christian Williams. His first game playing for Centennial, transferred in from Sierra Linda. And we talked with Centennial head coach Richard Taylor about Williams. He said they needed another big body on that line here tonight. And so he's been playing tight end as well as part of the line. He's actually had to switch jerseys throughout the game. When he's at tight end, he's number 85. But when he's in on the line like he is now, he's number 76.
It's just a fascinating matchup. You see him 6'4", 285 pounds. He was wearing 85 earlier. But that entire offensive line, you look at the interior of it, Trevor Renfro, he's a captain, 465-pound bench. That's a Centennial record. 3.75 GPA in honors classes. He was 160 pounds as a freshman. Now he's 270 pounds and 6'3" as a senior.
Also got 3.75 GPA. He's also a part of the cheer team. The one-man, one-girl competition. He finished in 4th place at state last year. 2nd and 9, 2:45 remaining. Pitch to Thomas. Ball's on the ground. Thomas just falls on it. Thomas upset with himself, but he made the smart play by just following the ball, not trying to pick it up and make something happen.
Yeah, I know you're trying to probably get outside, trying to break, contain, not sure that I'm going to be pitching the ball in a situation like this. And the one thing that St. Thomas has shown, as they've got sideline to sideline speed, you have not been able to get outside. Give your boys a chance up front to see if they can't knock them off the ball as the clock continues to run here. One timeout left for St. Thomas.
In 2:05 remaining, 3rd and 14. This time they just hand it off to Thomas, who sheds the first tackler. St. Thomas Aquinas gets the stop. We have another penalty flag on the field.
The player on the field is Tyler Steen, who's about 5 yards in the Centennial backfield.
Looks like we have an injured Raider on the field.
Personal foul. Face mask, number 22 defense. 15 yards from the end of the run. Still, 3rd down.
So another big penalty against St. Thomas Aquinas. Face mask is the call.
Glad to see you. Glad to see you.
Obviously trying to strip the ball. You know, the other face masks were very blatant, easy to see. Didn't really see that one, but nonetheless, you still have 3rd down.
3rd and 1 with 1:53 remaining. So the play of the game coming here. 3rd and 1.
Well, let's see if Centennial lets his clock run.
Handoff Thomas. 1st down Centennial. Still on his feet. Breaks through the pile. Thomas is on the run. Touchdown Centennial. A 56-yard touchdown run. Zidane Thomas.
Well, that's going to look really good in the stat sheets. But the first 2 yards were the most important. You see all those white jerseys in there, you just block down. Just such a tough running back. Gets down so low and keeps those legs churning. And then has the speed, as tired as he is, to get into the end zone.
Zidane Thomas grew up in Florida. His mom is in the stands from Tampa watching him play in person for the first time. And Zidane Thomas, the 56-yard touchdown run, gives Centennial the 12-0 lead with 1:33 remaining in the game.
Good job, Zidane. You did it!
You see right here, sneaking up the middle. I think some players thought he was down. Kept those legs moving. As tired as he was in on the defensive side of the ball in the previous series. Came up a little extra there. Remember though, guys, there's still a minute 33 left in this football game. St. Thomas has a timeout left.
There's the scoring drive. 3 plays, 65 yards, 1:16 off the clock. And the big play is the 3rd down, 56-yard touchdown run by the senior running back, Zidane Thomas. What a huge, huge play by the senior running back. This STA team's got to be a little stunned right now.
Oh, I think that they are. Some of their coaches just came down from up above us. Couldn't be a more polite coaching staff. Just love the way they handle themselves. You know, it's one thing to talk about building character and off the field things and how you want your players to handle themselves, and it's another thing to do them. So it's It's very refreshing to see that, because this is obviously a very, very frustrating evening for this entire Raider defense and football team, not the defense, I'm sorry, for the Raider team.
And Rojas is just going to kick this one out of bounds, not even to give the Raiders an opportunity for a big play return. So the ball would go out to the 35-yard line. It's 25 yards from where the ball was kicked from, is where the ball is spotted.
But you can also make them re-kick, which it looks like the Raiders are going to do. So I wonder, again, I don't know the rule book that well. How many times can you kick it out of bounds? Are we going to be here all night? Kick it out of bounds, re-kick.
I think it's unlimited because it's just 25 yards from where the ball is kicked. So
moving back 5 yards, kick it again.
Just keep doing it. Just keep going further and further back. So there's now 1:28 left on the clock.
Well, remember, clock doesn't start until the receiving team touches the ball.
Should have been 1:33 on the clock. And Rojas going to kick it out of bounds once again. And more time comes off the clock, and it should not be running right now.
Well, I think that the coaching staff just realized it on this one.
And it happened on the first one as well. Should be 1:33 on the clock. So there's two kicks out of bounds by Centennial. So now the ball will be spotted at the 40 if they wanted to take it this time. But instead they're going to make him re-kick.
Kick out of bounds on the kicking team. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Re-kick. Please put the game clock to 1:35. 1:35 on the game clock.
So they're going to put 11 seconds back on the clock. So they actually gained 2 seconds out of this whole ordeal. So now Rojas is going to be kicking off from the 30-yard line. I guess you're going to get your question answered here as far as how many times you can kick it out of bounds. Here comes number 3. And that one sails out of bounds. And the clock runs once again. Now there's 1:30 on the clock. And it should still be at 1:35, which they just reset to.
Five yards from the previous spot, re-kick. Please put the game clock back to 1:35. Do not start the game clock until it is touched by the receivers.
Rojas will be now kicking from the 25-yard line.
So it's 25 yards from where you kicked the ball.
Correct. So if this one goes out of bounds,
50-yard line.
Yes, they can start from midfield.
Still no time left.
With 1:35 on the clock.
Yes.
And this time it gets swibbed down the middle of the field. Kelly finally able to pick it up. Nice coverage there by the Coyotes, and making the tackle is Ray J. Bealey, the junior.
Yeah, you know, I'm not opposed to trying to kick it out of bounds one time, but then you realize the other team's going to continue to make you kick it. I'm not so sure I don't do that on the second kick and not wait till the 4th time to do that.
At some point, midfield's got to be pretty good field position, right? Because now they're starting from their own 35-yard line. They would have had it at the 50 if they had just taken the ball after the third time it was kicked out of bounds.
Well, let's see if this offensive line can hold up to the pressure from Centennial. See if Centennial and Andrew Taylor have any other blitzes dialed up.
Trips to the right, single receiver to the left. Castile, great rush for Centennial. Ball's loose on the ground. STA is able to recover, but the clock continues to run. Nice hustle there by Raiders offensive lineman, big number 72, Marcus Dumerville with the recovery.
Again, just miscommunication on the offensive line, letting guys run free. So but you take a look at it just kind of unfolding here, and a lot of defenses are going to play a soft zone or prevent zone. Centennial, those first two plays, bringing that heat.
3rd and 22. Castile goes up top, right side. Almost finds his receiver, but again, making yet another big play here tonight is Jaden Young.
Boy, he's going to be fun to watch over the last half of this season and next year. You see that playmaking ability. Then we'll get his hands on a few footballs, and I know he's saying, man, I could have had another couple of interceptions.
Could have had 3 on the night. 56 seconds remaining, 4th and 22. Castile tries another shot down the right side. This one gets intercepted. Dom Hampton with the pick, and that will seal it for the Coyotes.
What an absolutely outstanding defensive effort by this Coyote defense. Looked like Dom Hampton was the intended receiver there. You pointed it out. He's committed to Washington, 6'2", 185-pound senior. We've seen him come up and make tackles, seen him be physical, and obviously has the cover skills of an elite cornerback.
And that's the 4th interception on the season for Hampton. He's returned 2 of them for touchdowns. But this one is the biggest, as it's going to seal the victory for Centennial over St. Thomas Aquinas. Victory formation for the Coyotes. And it was a great turnout here for the Centennial crowd, and they're going to go home happy. Great sportsmanship seen here right now between the two teams.
Couldn't be more impressed with St. Thomas, their players, and their staff. Probably going to have to snap it one more time if you're Centennial, unless officials are just going to let it run.
In under 10 seconds now. And that will do it. The Centennial Coyotes upset number 3 ranked team in the country, the St. Thomas Aquinas Raiders. The Coyotes getting the victory by a score of 12-0. We will have our player of the game when we come back. The Coyotes get the win. You're watching Game Time on YurView. We'll be right back.
Brandon's played sports since he was about 4 years old. He was playing flag football and tweaked his knee. We ended up taking him to Phoenix Children's. The doctors confirmed that the ACL was torn, and we were given the option to not surgically repair, but then he would have to stop all sports. Brandon was devastated. We ended up going forward with the surgery. When the doctor gave him the thumbs up, he wanted to go back out onto the playing field that night. Phoenix Children's played a huge role in getting him back to sports.
Fridays and Saturday nights here is like religion.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
It's kind of like it's God and then it's football. For those 3 hours on a Friday night, everyone put everything aside. Whether it's race, whether it's religion, you put your own pride to the side, you put everything to the side, and everyone in the community comes together for that Friday night.
Sports in America is one of those rare things that brings everybody together.
When those lights come on, it doesn't matter what's been going on at home, at church, in the community. It doesn't matter. You know, it's just an amazing experience just to see the amount of fan support and just the camaraderie that Friday nights bring.
And that's why sports is such a valuable tool to society, to America.
Are you talkies enough?
Capital of Iceland.
Reykjavik. R-E-E-Y.
Whoops.
Talkies. Taste the fury of our flavors and face the intensity.
The YurView Game of the Week is sponsored locally by Sanderson Ford. The best play is at Sanderson Ford. By Jack in the Box. Come try the new really big chicken sandwich combo for only $3.99, limited time only. By Arizona Automotive Institute. Turn your dreams into reality with career training from AAI. By Red Devil Italian Restaurant. Family owned since 1960. By Circle K. It's time to take a Circle K Polar Pop timeout. By Valle Luna, proud sponsor of student athletes in Arizona. By Phoenix Children's Sports Medicine, Arizona's only comprehensive sports medicine program for young athletes. And by Takis, face the intensity. And it was the Centennial Coyotes getting the big upset victory over the number 3 ranked team in the country, St. Thomas Aquinas Raiders, by a count of 12-0. So a big win for the Coyotes. And here's tonight's Takis hot player of the game. Takis face the intensity. And it's all about that Centennial defense.
My goodness, we couldn't just pick one player, so we gave it to the entire defense. See special teams covering here, but look at the physicality, the penetration, and it was a bunch of red jerseys. Physical, putting pressure on both quarterbacks. 3 turnovers to 1 turnover. Just a tremendous job all night long to hold this team to 0 points over 4 quarters.
And they are celebrating on the field here at Centennial High School with the big victory. We'll be back to wrap this up when we come back. You're watching Game Time on YurView. We'll be right back.
Trolls.
Go, 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 go,
This is Contour from Cox. Cable TV reimagined to get you right to the good stuff.
What makes even better than other schools is that it's very hands-on, and the teachers, you can tell they really want to teach. They love teaching their students. The people who work here really care about what they're doing.
With Cox high-speed internet, you get access to super fast in-home Wi-Fi to power all your devices and do the things you love online. And now, when you're traveling, you have free access to the nation's largest Wi-Fi network with over 500,000 hotspots, so you can stay connected in places such as New York City, Los Angeles, Washington, D.C., Phoenix, and many more. Learn how with the Cox Discover More video series at cox.com/learn.
Take a look at the final stats from Centennial's big win over St. Thomas Aquinas, the final 12-0.
Now, obviously, the 113 yards from Thomas, a lot coming on that last run that kind of salted the game away. But I think if you're St. Thomas, you're going to look at this as one of the big reasons that you lost this football game. And you're also going to be looking at your quarterback play. And the quarterbacks have to play better against good competition.
And how big of a win is this for Centennial? Arizona school getting a win on a national level.
Yeah, it's a big win. We knew that coming in. Big win. See where they go from here.
There's the Dane Thomas getting some congratulations. Family and friends. Big win for the Coyotes. It's game time on YurView. Brock Purdy and the #1 ranked Perry Pumas will try to keep their unblemished record intact. And they travel to Chandler to take on the Wolves in the YurView game of the week next Friday night. In 6A action, Chandler hopes to have junior signal caller Jacob Conover back from injury. Perry has never defeated the Wolves in 5 previous tries. Kickoff is at 7 o'clock on YurView, Channel 4, or watch online at YurView.com. Well, with thanks from producer Rich Reed, director Peter Gordon, Len Marinacci, Bob Pockman in audio, Ryan Powell with them as well. Our duet, Brianna Jonellis. In video, David Google. EVS, GP Miller and Ron Bruce. On camera, Tom Kioski, James Rincon, Toby Finch, Eric Knipfer, and Scott Santiago. Our utility man, Alex Rincon. On the score bug, DeJuan Brown. Our engineers, Richard Reinhardt and Cable Hogan. And our red hot Ashley Hope, our stats man, Jared Donins, and our stage manager, Beth Pockman. And for my partner, Dale Hellestray, I'm Chris Harris. Thanks for watching this week's Game Time Game of the Week on YurView. Centennial gets the victory over the #3 ranked team in the country, St. Thomas Aquinas, by a score of 12-0. We say so long from Centennial High School. Have a great night, everybody.